Much like Jay Milne's t-shirt, we are ready to ride the lightning on this edition of the Reid Wilkins Show on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. The Oilers lay an egg against the Minnesota Wild. Rangers coming to town. We will break that down. We'll have a couple of fun topics for you to dive into as well. Oh, my goodness. Just as the show starts, the big uke gets his limerick into the email, read at edmontonsportstalk.com. We'll get to that later on as well. No, we'll tease that for later. Coop. Good job coming in with the music, though. We'll tease that for later. What is this Metallica shirt? How long have you had that?
A couple years.
Oh, so it's like some of my leopard shirts.
It's not from a concert.
It's specific. That was Ride the Lightning on one of their early albums, or is that a song?
This is an album.
It's not their first album.
No.
Wasn't Kill 'Em All their first album?
This is their second album? Yeah.
1984.
How do you know this, Coop?
He's a metalhead, man.
I'm a big Metallica fan.
Yeah.
Bro, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
I love Metallica.
What's your favorite Metallica album?
Probably Ride the Lightning or
Yeah.
Master Puppets.
So you like the earlier stuff.
They're a lot better.
Master
Puppet.
Do you like Enter Sandman off their self-titled fifth album?
The Black Album.
Metallica,
or
also known as
Metallica.
the Black. There is a little snake on it if you look closely enough, isn't there?
Yeah.
An embossed snake.
Yeah, you look at the on
be a
the
good-
CD, you could see it.
That'd be a good name for a bar, the Embossed Snake. That's too hard to say.
Have you not seen Coob with his long hair?
No,
He had hair down to, like, your chest.
I didn't know that. When? Since I started working here? I didn't look at you until yesterday.
Yeah, no, you don't look at me
It's the
very
first
often.
time I realized what you looked like. You're just always a voice in the wilderness to me.
Probably 2 or so years ago.
Okay, and how did you get into Metallica?
My buddy listened to it, and I was like in grade 7 or 8, and I'm like, it's pretty cool. Actually, one time I slept in at my buddy's house, sleeping over on the weekend. We stayed up way too late, and his dad started blasting Enter Sandman to
Yeah.
wake us up because it was 2 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
Or 2 in the afternoon. We're a bunch of little
Bunch of
Little
lazy little
brats.
freaks.
yeah,
All right.
sleeping our lives away.
Well, thank you for checking out the program, whether you like Metallica or other bands. You can get in touch through the EST inbox. If you own a phone that has texting capabilities, then you can send messages to 780-218-9999. You can jump into the nasty chat on YouTube, or as I like to call it, the diabolical dialogue. Give us a thumbs up if you're there as well, as we endeavor to get to 100 every show. We got to well over 100 yesterday. We're almost already one quarter of the way there.
Yeah, we're
Let's leave it at 100 for today.
We're leaving it at 100
Leave it
for
at
today,
100
yeah.
for today. And, of course, you can listen to the show, audio streams, iHeartRadio app, TuneIn app, wherever you get your podcasts. And I say this to remind other people if they are wanting to listen to the show or be like, what is Edmonton Sports Talk? You know, where are the 1260 guys? Where's Reid? Because people are still asking those questions.
yes.
So don't hesitate to point them in our direction.
Help
It
us,
helps
help you.
Help us, help people be entertained and updated on Edmonton sports. The update on the Oilers is they practiced today. We'll have Ryan Rishaug on in a few minutes for some delightful banter. I thought the Oilers had a very poor game last night, Jay.
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier, and first period and a half was entertaining hockey back and forth, but I forget who mentioned it. I think maybe Gager said that, basically this was a 5-0 game. The first 2 goals were rather good bounces.
Sure.
The third goal, okay, you're getting to the net, getting to those places, but no, I mean, there's a reason that Minnesota is where they are in the standings, and the Oilers are where they are, and it was proven last night.
I would say that the Corey Perry goal is a good bounce,
Yeah.
but it came about because he's doing the right things.
You're right.
So, yes, of course, there is puck luck. Pucks will go in. But 2 of his 4 goals have gone in off opposing players because he's putting the puck in a dangerous area and getting the body there, which is something the Oilers as a whole are not doing. I'm going to use this phrase I've been using since last night. They lack interior presence at both ends of the ice.
Yeah, and that's what Oilers fans and analysts have been saying is get pucks on net, get pucks into those scoring zones, and that's how Perry did that. So I guess you can't fault that. But no, just on a whole, I thought it was interesting. I wanted to talk to you. Well, maybe we'll get to Corey Perry's comment later.
Yeah, I got
Because
audio from Corey Perry
Okay,
for the
good.
Well Understood for GCL Diesel, because he was pretty. I thought he was pretty honest last night after the game. It's the Oilers know what they're not doing. That's the thing. They're not clueless as to their shortcomings, but they're still not doing good fundamental hockey things often enough. And that's why their record is, unspectacular. They've played 21 games. They've won 10 of them. They've only won 6 of them in regulation time. So only 6 times in 21 games has an opposing team left the building empty-handed against the Oilers.
Did you seem to notice last night that there was a couple times where the puck was just left sitting there?
Yes, I did, Jay.
2 players.
3 guys skated past it once.
Yeah. What's up with that? Is that just being too tentative? Are they cautious? What was your thought on that? I noticed
they're just not on the same page. They're just not detailed. I really think a little bit of lack of intensity is a problem, too. It's hard to win in the NHL, and sometimes a team. I generally don't criticize work ethic, because I think most players and teams work as hard as they can the large majority of the time. Sometimes they don't have, some nights you might have more energy than on another night. Sometimes another team just might have a little more skill or have a little better bounces or whatever. But last night, and Corey Perry said this as well, I think it was the effort was not there. And I don't think they're doing it on purpose. I don't think they're a lazy team. I don't think they're a lazy group of people. But something isn't clicking with this team. And I do think part of it, and I realize the roster changes and some of those shortcomings. I realize that. But part of it is there just hasn't been intensity, whatever you want to call it, desperation. I kind of hate the word urgency because it gets overused a little bit. But intensity and attention to detail. There hasn't been that, oh, you know what? I got to win this puck battle. I got to make sure this puck gets out. I got to play firm and hard right here. Instead, it's almost as if, well, there's 3 minutes left in the first period. Does it really matter if I lose the puck now? We'll still have 43 minutes left after this. It feels as if there's a little bit of that. And I'm not saying they're consciously saying that. Of course they aren't. But there's just some juice that isn't in their game. There's some, I've used the word concentration before, that just continues to not be in their game. Now, maybe we're at the point where, I don't know, maybe just this team doesn't have it this year. I don't know. I hope not. I still think they can play better. There is still quite a bit of hockey left. The division is still pretty tight, that if you win 3 in a row or 5 out of 7, who knows, you could be in first place. But they're having trouble putting together a consistent streak.
Well, if you want to look at a positive, it's not really all that positive on the whole, but the Pacific Division is struggling as a whole. Mm-hmm. So it is still very much so for the taking. Nobody has taken the reins and run away with it. I mean, Tommy Gazzola on the postgame show said that if Vegas lost last night and Edmonton won, they would have been tied for first in the Pacific.
Yeah, Vegas would have had the points percentage advantage.
Sure,
but yeah, still points-wise, they would have been further up. All right. 780-218-9999. Jump into the nasty chat on YouTube. Again, email Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Portions of this hour presented by Canadian Brewhouse. Book your holiday party at the CBH today. Your ultimate destination for events, parties, fundraisers, and more. 'Tis the season to celebrate. Visit and book now at thecanadianbrewhouse.com. All right, we're going to have some fun interaction with you nasties today because we have a couple of cool topics. We're going to start with our off-topic topic for William Huff. You may have noticed it's snowed. Well, I guess we could have people listening from outside of Edmonton or tuning in from Mexico or Hawaii, but we assume most of our listeners are in northern Alberta.
Hawaii?
Yeah.
Hawaii?
That's where Joe Powpow's from. Since 1952, for the off-topic topic, William Huff has provided industry-leading graphics with design, print, and install all in-house for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best it can be is what they call the William Huff advantage. Visit their website at williamhuff.com or give them a shout, 780-454-4536. We want your snow removal tips. We want to know your snow situation. How much do you have to clear? How do you do it? What's the best way to do it? Let us know. First snow down, enough snow that you had to do something, probably. Shovel, snow blow, leave it and hope it melts. Hope it gets +8 in a few days, which I don't think it's going to be. We want to know your snow removal situation / tips. Now,
Interesting.
what?
Big Maple says best snow removal tip. This year I'm switching over to sugar beet juice so there won't be a base layer of ice on the driveway.
Sugar beet juice he's pouring on the ground? I've never heard of that before.
Matt Hyman says Costco used beet juice in their parking lot a couple of years ago.
Beet juice.
How many beets do you need to
How many beets do you get a pound? How many beets do you have to put through the juicer? Hey, honey, why'd you buy a juicer? Help get rid of the snow.
It's a snow thing. Beet juice. Is this are we getting trolled? Or is this a thing?
I don't know. I have never heard of that. Beet juice. Now, I know about using ice melt.
Is this another Henway?
It could be. Yeah, we could be saying something silly that we don't even know. I mean, there's ice melt, right, which is not good for dogs' paws, correct?
Okay.
If you throw that down. I'll just quickly, they'll do my situation now. You can do yours later because you have much larger property to clear than I do.
Okay.
I'm in a townhouse, so I do have to shovel the sidewalk, and I'll usually do, because the neighbors will do mine or all of mine. So if I'm out there shoveling first, I'll do at least portions of other people's. I do have a ramp, a driveway. You've seen it.
Yeah.
And that is heated. So it has an automatic, it has a switch to automatic, and once it hits a certain temperature, it activates. Having said that, if it snows a lot, it doesn't do anything. So when it snowed just a little bit a couple of nights ago, you wake up in the morning and it just looks wet. But even with the snowfall we had over the past couple of days, there's still kind of a bumpy layer of snow on it. So if there's heavy snow, you still got to get out and shovel it, even though it's heated. So it's not a perfect solution.
I was wondering about that because that's quite steep in a short distance.
Yes.
Your little driveway.
Well, and that's why everybody backs in to the garages, because if you drove in forward and then had to back out, you'd really have to gun it. And, of course, you can't see who's on the sidewalk or on the street, so that's why we all back in.
50-50 proposition at that point.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that'll be our off-topic topic, your snow removal situation and or tips and or stories. I mean, if you have some amazing snow removal story from 5 years ago, please share it.
Well, I must say this. Breaking news coming to us from our beloved 49ers fan, Smith TM14. 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan. Hey, Hernan, you listening? 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan announces Brandon Allen will start for San Francisco. Brock Purdy ruled out. He just groaned. And Smith, TM14, do not stop being a Niner homer. We love homers. We love it. I mean, I'm a Commanders guy. I'll say that. It's okay. We need more homers. So, and we love you too. We love all of our listeners, especially ones that send in juice.
All right.
Beet juice. Rob from the Grove said they use or used beet juice on the Coquihalla Highway.
Not that one, Zach. Sorry, we just got to organize something here with Rish.
I remember seeing something on the interweb. Big Maple says you can buy a big 20-liter jug for cheap at Granger. Beet juice?
So we're talking about beet juice. Okay.
It's a thing.
We got to look into this.
It's a thing.
All right. 780-218-9999. We're going to hook up with Ryan Rishaug from TSN and the Got Your Back podcast. And we got the Coupe coming up with a sports update as well.
It's the Jets and the Penguins before the Sabres face the Sharks with just 2 games in the NHL. Elsewhere, the Golden Knights have signed Brett Howden to a 5-year extension worth a total of $12.5 million. And in Edmonton, the Oil Kings have puck drop with the Tigers, while The Golden Bears men's hockey team play the Huskies during their very first teddy bear toss game. NFL injuries see Brock Purdy out this Sunday with an injured shoulder as he hits the injury reserve, while Devontae Smith gets sidelined this week for the Eagles with an injured hamstring. Out east, the Giants are set to release Daniel Jones, with Jones heading to the waiver wire, having the possibility to land with another football club. On the court, the Celtics meet the Wizards, and the Kings tip off with the Clippers, having 8 games in NBA Cup action. Just after the break, Ryan Rishaug from the Got Your Back podcast joins Reid and Jay. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
Ready for an unforgettable sports experience? It's the EST Flyaway to LA. Presented by the 780. Listen daily for the EST Flyaway keyword. Once you hear it, text us at 780-218-9999 for your chance to qualify to fly to LA. Round trip flights for 2, hotel and car rentals, all to go see Edmonton face off against either LA or Anaheim. Plus, experience the brand new Intuit Dome as the Clippers tip off against the Warriors, and top it all off with the Rams kicking off against the Cardinals at SoFi Stadium. This is more than just a trip. This is the ultimate sports experience. The EST Flyaway to LA, presented by the 780 and Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Food Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store, or use the code EST when shopping online at foodsausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Food Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of The Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Well, Friday night, I'll be heading to the Golden Bears Huskies game right after work here. Oil Kings also have a home game tonight. Oil Kings have their teddy bear toss game at 4 o'clock on Sunday. Oilers host the Rangers tomorrow. Our coverage commences at 7 p.m. with the Oil Stream pregame show presented by GCL Diesel. That's 7 o'clock tomorrow with Tom and Hernan, and then they'll be on after the game for post-game coverage. We're camped out in the James H. Brown studio. James H. Brown Personal Injury Law Firm, the heavy hitters of injury law with over 200 years of experience. James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. Visit them at jameshbrown.com and book your private consultation today. All right, our first guest this afternoon is one of the greatest human beings in Canadian history. He's from TSN and the Got Your Back podcast. It's my good buddy Ryan Rishaug. Hi, Ryan. How are you?
I'm good, Reid. I don't even know what to say about.
Yeah, I got to bring people on and get them excited.
No, like, for how much you and I can't stand each other, but it's just funny that comes from you, because that might be the nicest thing anybody has ever said to me, and I'm not joking. That is so incredibly nice. The nicest people in human history. That is a compliment of epic proportions, and coming from you, someone who clearly dislikes me. I'm glad you could admit that I'm still a great guy.
Yeah, well, it's part of it's part of the ruse, right? Like, I interview thousands of people a year. I clearly don't like all of them, but I gotta make it sound that they're worth listening to.
Yeah, Reid. I literally cannot wait until I get to see you in person again. Jay, how are you, man? How's it going, bud?
Hey, I'm just sitting side saddle, loving this conversation right now, so I'm good.
Yeah, it's nonstop with Ryan and I. It's
yeah.
like
good.
Other people are now uncomfortable around us.
Reid, can you get on with it? Can we get on with it now, please? Let's go.
No, wait, I'm talking. So it's like at the point where Ryan and I, like, we were standing next to the water cooler last night during the first intermission, just insulting each other to the point that people were just in earshot were just walking away because they were like, I don't want to be part of that. I don't know what's going on, if they actually hate each other, if they're flirting. Like they didn't know.
It was all like
it's getting publicly awkward.
Yes.
Oh,
not for Ryan and I. We enjoy it.
Yeah,
We
it was
enjoy
all I
freaking
could do
people
not
out.
to. It was all I could do not to pull the jug of water out and empty it over your head while you
That'd be
stood there.
amazing.
While you stood there, incapable of doing anything to defend yourself, Reid.
That would have been amazing. We'll have to come up with like a choreographed fist
real.
fight or something where we're
It's
grabbing
real for
things.
me.
Yeah.
I know you're joking. It's real for me.
All right. No, it's good to see you, buddy. Thanks for doing this on a
Yeah.
Friday afternoon.
Of course.
Our off-topic topic for William Huff, before we dive into the hockey stuff, snow removal is our off-topic topic. So
Yeah.
a tip or your situation or a classic snow removal story, that's kind of what we're asking for from our nasties.
How's this? How's that?
Oh, he's got a prop. He's got a prop.
Oh,
Yes.
I literally just blew a picture off my wall.
Oh, no. It was, I hope it wasn't the signed photo of Jay Onright.
No. So not to hawk my sponsors on your show, but I was at Horizon Ag and Turf yesterday. They're one of our sponsors that got your back. So here's why. I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but I recently installed a golf simulator in my garage. And Reid, as I was showing you photos of, like it takes up the entire garage. The whole garage is now just a fun zone for me. And what that means in my wife's world is that her car is now parked outside on the driveway.
Oh no!
I don't know if you noticed,
right.
the weather hasn't been great. So
Shug.
it's my I feel somewhat obligated to do the snow removal from the cars. And so I stopped by Horizon Ag and Turf, and they helped me grab this. So this is my snow removal method: battery-powered, high-powered snow blower, leaf blower.
So what are we
blower
working
machine.
with there? That's obviously a Steel brand. This is the
Stihl.
battery.
AP300S Steel BGA 86. It's just a beast.
Oh yeah,
It's a beast.
That's amazing.
A badass machine.
Okay,
Yeah, man.
so you have do you have a driveway and then how much sidewalk?
Not much sidewalk because we're in a cul-de-sac. So we're in a
Okay.
key. So there's no
Oh, that's
sidewalk in
classic.
front of us. So I've got, so both of our vehicles are now in the driveway full time. So there really isn't a driveway to shovel. There's just a bunch of awkward snow to blow around. And so it makes way more sense to have that.
I must admit that the noises, and you hear now more and more people blowing their snow as opposed to shoveling it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
I think these blowers have become a lot more efficient, a lot more
Yeah.
high powered. So it's. I know my neighbor Wally. He's always out there every morning.
Yeah. Now, it used to be that the only way to get an efficient enough blower to actually be able to handle snow was the over-the-shoulder backpack gas-powered ones, which, by the way, we have one of those too. But the battery technology and the technologies of these things has come far enough now. They're actually powerful enough and battery-operated that you can actually handle decent amounts of snow. Now, sometimes you're still going to have to shovel. When we get those insane snowfalls, I mean, you're going to have to support with a shovel, but the day-to-day stuff, this works.
Have you heard of using beet juice to as a de-icing mechanism?
What?
Yeah.
Yes, we're getting
It's
several
a
comments.
thing, apparently.
Because I want my front driveway and walkway to look like a murder scene. Great idea, guys. Awesome.
Well, it's not that thick, I don't think.
I
Just
don't
think
know.
about that. Like, what
Still,
carnage
like
has
this big
happened here?
snow.
And doesn't it stain the cement? Like, no.
Yeah. Well, just get, go back to your ag dealer there and get a high pressure washer to take the stains off in the spring.
Whose idea was that? Whose idea
Apparently
was
it's a
beet
We're getting
juice?
it in the chat.
Apparently,
Brian,
Costco's been doing it in their parking lots for a while.
Well, if your guys' chat is anything like my chat, I don't know if you should be taking everything as gospel in there, guys.
Well, fair enough. All right. Well, thank you for sharing a prop and a sound effect. That's great.
Thanks for letting me push a sponsor on your show.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Ryan Rishaug from TSN and the Got Your Back podcast. As we both work or have worked with Rob Brown in our careers, who we respect a lot, he always says, I don't know if he said it to you last night, but I'm sure he has, it hurts to score goals in the National Hockey League. And I would argue that the Oilers are not putting themselves through enough pain to get to that area. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that not enough players are uncomfortable right now. Too many comfortable players, and too many players who aren't willing to get uncomfortable to do the difficult things it takes to, to find goals in this league, right? Like, I think this team likes to be comfortable, and I don't think they like to step outside their comfort zone. And I think that if you are not scoring, whoever you are, the next question is, okay, what are you doing? And what are you doing to try and find the goals that you should be getting? So pick a player. And I mean, there's a pile of them. Nuge, Henrique, just run down the list. There's a bunch of them that are not producing the way they need to. And you say, okay, well, what are you doing? So the answer for a guy like Zach Hyman, well, I mean, he's working pretty hard. He's grinding. He's not afraid to get to the middle of the ice. Like, that's never an issue with him. So I'm not necessarily going to use him. But like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, for example, what are you doing? In what ways are you going to uncomfortable areas or challenging yourself or stepping outside your comfort zone to get different results here? And I think the answer for too many of these players is kind of nothing most nights. They're just waiting. They're working hard and just waiting for it to happen. And, a quarter way into the season, and it hasn't happened for a bunch of them. And it's like, okay, well, what's next? Like, what's the plan, guys? They need to get uncomfortable.
I like how you put that. And another thing we've talked about for years too is, okay, what's your dimension? Like what are you going to be really, really good at? Again, if you can't score, like what's your dimension? Even if you're a face-off specialist, give the coach a reason to say, all right, I can put this guy out there because I need this positive thing to happen. We might be down a goal. I know this guy won't score, but the face-off's in our end, and I'm 3/4 sure he's going to win that and get us the puck, and then we can change. And that's what I'm seeing. I'm looking. I think you put that really well, Ryan. Like, what are they really contributing if they're not scoring? Because most guys in a hockey game don't get points. Yeah. You and I asked, I think, the first 4 questions last night to Knobloch. One of mine was about Kapanen, so that wasn't sort of as much of a team thing.
Yeah.
But what did you make? I can't remember if it was in response to your question or mine, but he might have touched on it more than once. What was your reaction to we have a lot of skilled guys, or we have a couple of really skilled guys, and we seem to have some other players who think they can play like that? I was just like, wow, that's kind of damning.
Yeah, for sure. So I think Chris Knobloch he's in a bit of a spot here because, like, as you guys know, this team isn't really built to be like this big, heavy rock'em sock'em team that, overwhelms people with physicality, right? But that doesn't mean that throwing body checks and playing with intensity is a worthless endeavor. Like, part of the issue for me, like, Reid, you say, what are you doing? What's your dimension? So you can apply that to an individual player, but I think you can apply that to this team as well. So what is the dimension that this team has? So let's say on any given night, you come out and your first couple of shifts, it's like, oh boy, there's a few mistakes. The team doesn't seem to have it. It's like, okay, they're going to be in a battle here tonight to find it because it you can tell. Good teams say, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to lean on this characteristic of ours to get us through this lull, to set the tempo, to start turning the tide a little bit. The Oilers have zero game to lean on when they don't have their A game, right? And so it's like, so this is what other teams figure out. Okay, every player goes out there with the idea that I'm gonna show some gamesmanship. I'm gonna show some intensity. So when you're a player that skates into the corner and finishes a check, you're going to be a player that also shows more commitment to going to the middle of the ice where it's hard to score goals. When you're a player who back checks with desperation and finishes checks, you're going to be a player that's willing to do all of the uncomfortable things. And if everybody does that, now you're all playing the game with a general level of competitiveness that's going to give you a chance to get back into it. This team doesn't do that. That's not the way they're wired. When this team isn't good, it's up to Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl to do something amazing to get them back into it. And if that doesn't happen, there's no dimension coming from many other places. I'll circle Corey Perry and put him to the side because he can find that. Too many players on this team take zero responsibility for finding ways to change the tempo in games. They just go out there and be themselves and do the same things they've always done, and it's not on them to step outside their comfort zone.
I like how you put that. You probably remember Alex Chason saying this. And look, he had one really good year here. I know he had his limitations as a player too. But I found it interesting when he would talk about the Capitals. And I know he ultimately wasn't there when they won the Cup, but he was there through some pretty damn good Washington teams. And he said in a scrum once that the attitude with the Capitals, especially when they played at home, was we want to be up 2-0 by the 10-minute mark of the first period.
Right.
The attitude wasn't let's watch Alex score 2 goals. The attitude was we recognize we have Alex, but we have a pretty good roster. So, I mean, implanting that attitude of like it's 10 minutes of hell when you come into our building and we're going to try and bury you early, that's not really a bite that the Oilers have ever had, even as they've become a perennial playoff team.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. And I think that it's, more than like they've gone back to being a two-man team here, relying on 2 people more than they had over the last couple of seasons. They are more that now than they have been here recently. And so it's problematic for them. Let's be honest, guys. They put together a 3-game winning streak. And it looks like, okay, it's turning. Power play looks a little bit better. Penalty kills coming. McDavid and Draisaitl are back to their old production ways, and it looks like it's coming, right? Then they go on the road and they dump a couple of games because when those guys aren't all world, okay, well, what does the game look like? And the answer is it's just not very good. So they don't have a base level of play that, like, no matter what, you can count on the Oilers. They're going to do these things to give themselves a chance. And that's what you're talking about, teams that set those goals and know they can get to some type of reliable game. And the Oilers just are not there. I think we also need to just call it what it is here, guys. Like, this blue line is nowhere near a Stanley Cup caliber blue line. It's just not. They're one injury away. We're seeing this right now. One injury away from being in the conversation of one of the worst blue lines in the league. One injury away to Darnell Nurse. And you look at this blue line and you're like, whoa, right? Not good enough, not deep enough. And it's a problem. Now, they know it's a problem. They took a risk coming into the season, allowing it to be a problem. When they lost Philip Broberg, they doubled down and traded Cody Ceci, thinned themselves out even more in the name of gathering cap space so that the White Knight can come in and save everything at the trade deadline. Well, they're one injury away from looking like the blue line they have right now, and it's nowhere near good enough.
I wanted to ask you about that because it's a question that comes up daily, if not every minute on our feeds. But the goaltending versus the defensive play, chicken or egg. What's worse? What's causing what? Because the goaltending is simply not good enough. But is that a byproduct of having inadequate players in front of you? What's your take on that? How does that all sort out for you?
Yeah, it is the chicken and the egg, and there is no answer. Honestly, it's kind of like when Stuart Skinner starts to play better, it's going to help cover up some of the defensive mistakes, and it's going to help the focus come off a little bit on some of the blue line deficiencies, right? We can all kind of nod our heads and agree to that. But can we all also agree when that blue line plays a little bit better that it's probably going to help Stuart Skinner and his game will look a little bit better at that point too? Now, there are stats that can separate the two, and expected goals and all those sorts of things. And the bottom line is neither is great. But yeah, it's a problem. Stuart Skinner needs to be better than he's been. No question about it. He'd be the first one to tell you that. But here's the thing. Stuart Skinner has showed that he can hang in there on the biggest stage. Like, Stuart Skinner was Stanley Cup final and all that. I mean, he had some bumps during the playoffs. Stuart Skinner outdueled Jake Ottinger in a series last year. So my faith that Stuart Skinner will, through the course of a season, get himself sorted out here and be good in the playoffs, I have a lot more faith in that than I do the idea this blue line as it currently exists is going to be able to be a blue line that has a chance of getting this team to where they want to go. So I would say, less concern in the big picture about Skinner, more concerned about the makeup of this blue line and how much needs to change.
Well, with the makeup of the blue line, and obviously that was everybody knew that coming into the season that was going to be a major weakness. It's exposing itself now because of an injury to Darnell Nurse. But when Darnell Nurse is back and healthy, how deep do you think they have to go in that lineup and to make changes? How many people are going to be in and out, do you think, on the defensive line?
Well, let's put something into perspective here. Over the last few years, the Arizona Coyotes have generally been considered like a group that, man, if they only had a bit of a blue line, right? They decent young forwards, and, people thought that, right? If only they had a bit of a blue line. So the Oilers went and got 3 of their defensemen. They went and got their 6th, 7th, and 8th defensemen, right? In Stature, Dermott, and Josh Brown, and added them to their blue line. So, and all due respect to those players, right? They all have their place. They all do. And, they've had good careers, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to them, but to have all 3 of them at once as your vision of a solution it's just ill-fitted. So the cuts need to be significant. When the Oilers are a contending team between Brown, Stetcher, Dermott, one of those players maybe will be in the lineup. The rest won't cut it. That's how much further they need to go in getting better.
Yeah, well, I would argue one of them's the 7th defenseman if they build a better decor, but I don't know how much of that might happen this season. Yeah. Ryan, thanks for doing this. It's an honor to have you pop on the show every so often. Again, having a prop with a sound effect, I mean, that's just we got to show that to the kids at Nate. This is what you do when you're on the radio.
Well, and
with
Reid,
YouTube.
You should know, Ryan, one of our sponsors reached out in relation to your sponsor, Gaff, there with the picture, and said if the picture frame was the glass was broken, that Dave over at Nisku Glass will replace it free of charge.
Nisku Glass can do that, hey?
Oh, they got you covered.
So it fell on one of my nicer suits over there, and I might need to get a replacement from our friends at Mr. Dirk. So I might go check in with our friends at Mr. Dirk and see if they can do that. You guys want to go sponsor for sponsor here?
Well, then maybe at the same time, you could go over and check out our friends of Hello Hockey Modern Measure and see if they can get you suited for a custom 2-piece suit.
There you go. You know what? Incredible. Bottom line, so many amazing options in this wonderful city, great businesses, and we're all in business with local businesses, which is great. So happy to be on, guys.
I will see you tomorrow, and I look forward to you telling me how disgusting I am.
Okay. I'm happy to come on and be the carrot top of Edmonton sports digital content anytime, guys.
That is the one and only Ryan Rishaug from TSN and the Got Your Back podcast. Love bantering with him, and he always has very astute observations on your Edmonton Oilers as well. And yes, they are not doing great, which we will discuss throughout the course of the program, but it's not going to be all that because it is Friday and we're going to have some fun. We're already off and running with your snow removal tips. We have a very tasty top 3 coming up for food sausage, and we got Zach Kubish with a sports update.
On the ice, it's the Penguins facing the Jets and the Ducks battling the Sabres, with the Oilers back at it tomorrow, dropping the puck against the Rangers. And Brock Boeser has taken to the ice sporting a non-contact jersey in practice today after missing the last 2 weeks with a concussion. Boeser's timeline for return is unclear. And it's the Medicine Hat Tigers in town to battle the Oil Kings, while the Golden Bears men's hockey team welcomes in the Huskies to hold their very first teddy bear toss game. Over in football, the 49ers will start Brandon Allen this weekend as Brock Purdy heads to the IR with a shoulder injury, while the Eagles will be without Devontae Smith in their game against the Rams as he gets sidelined with a hamstring injury. Basketball has the Blazers and Rockets, as well as the Pacers and Bucks going at it during NBA Cup group stage action. This sports update is brought to you by Sit and Sleep, where you can save big with their Black Friday sale. Get a queen-size zero-top mattress and patented non-flip pocket coils, gel memory foam, and 5 comfort zones slashed down to half price for only $3.99. Find great deals like this and more for the rest of the month at Sit and Sleep. Shop Black Friday sales now at Sit and Sleep, where you can find them in South Edmonton Common next to Planet Fitness. After the break, it's the Oil Understood for GCL Diesel. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you in the loop.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
The grand opening sale at Sit and Sleep is almost over. This is your last chance to take advantage of the special introductory sale prices on all mattresses. Stop in today for a free pressure point scan using cutting-edge technology so sleepologists can identify the perfect mattress for you. Right now, get free local delivery on any mattress over $7.99 and receive a free bamboo cooling mattress protector. Enjoy grand opening savings with every mattress on sale. Join us on location today for the final celebrations at Sit and Sleep in South Common next to Planet Fitness. Don't miss out. The grand opening sale ends soon.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key, influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website, edmontonsportstalk.com.
All right, thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. Great chat with TSN's Ryan Rishaug, also from the Got Your Back podcast. If you're consuming the show through YouTube, please give us a thumbs up as we chase 100 thumbs each and every day here on the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. If you're on the audio stream, just look at the person next to you and flash them a physical thumbs up that you're enjoying what you're listening to. People around the world doing that right now. 780-218-9999. Email reid@edmontonsportstalk.com. Do you want to do any snow stuff right now or save that for later?
Yeah. Let's save it for later.
Do a couple later, and we're going to have I think we'll also have some good reaction to Reid's top 3 for food sausage.
We're
getting some good Oilers stuff. I think we might even have gotten a couple of messages. People still want to talk about the Elks news this week, so we will be weaving your
I'm going to start
participation.
saving them in a different document.
Yeah, we'll be weaving your participation in throughout the program, so that'll be fun. It is time to do the Oil Understood for GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around. From turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors, they are the critical engine component experts. Proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years, and now a proud partner of Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel. Diesel. Understood. Okay. So what can I give you on the Oilers? First of all, generally about the Oilers here, when we were talking about them, we're not talking so much about tactical decisions or execution. Well, we are talking about execution. We're talking about, sort of an attitude. And yes, as Ryan pointed out, there are roster deficiencies. That's fair. That, maybe or maybe not will be addressed. But, there are some fundamental things here that aren't being executed in intensity or concentration, whatever you want to say. I want to circle to a couple things from last night. And both the questions I asked, though, these guys said sort of similar things in response to other questions as well. But we'll start here with a question I asked Chris Knobloch after last night's game.
Do you think there's a hesitancy to put the puck and people to the net?
Yeah, I think so. I think we obviously have some incredibly skilled players who can make those plays. And when you're playing with those guys and you see them doing it, sometimes players get mistaken identity and try that extra pass, play on the perimeter rather than shooting for a rebound, getting to the net, looking, stuff, little things like that.
All right. So I said hesitancy. I think I said hesitancy when I asked the question. Hesitancy. He knew what he meant, to get people and pucks to the net. And he said, yes, I think so. And he said, we have a couple of very skilled guys, and then maybe some other players have some mistaken identity, which I can't blame anybody listening or watching the show today if that's frustrating, because pick a random name off the roster. Those players should not be confusing themselves with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. I mean, it almost sounds like it's almost humorous, darkly humorous, that's the reality that the coach is recognizing, that there are some players with mistaken identity. And again, this is not a young team, right? This isn't a team of Connor and Leon and a bunch of 20-year-olds who all think it's great to play with these guys and they're going to try to do the same thing. These are a bunch of players who are established and should know who they are because they've played several hundred games and shouldn't be fooled. So that's one of these continually confounding things about this team, is that, I mean, we talk about it all the time too. Simplify, get pucks and people to the net. And here's the thing, like we were talking the other day about Podkolzin being on that line with McDavid and Draisaitl, and Tom and I talked extensively about that on the oil stream from noon to 1 today. Neither one of us are a fan of it, but I'll give Podkolzin this credit for this in the game in Ottawa. His first assist to the Bouchard goal, I mean, he touched the puck like 20 seconds, like whatever. But the second assist, all he did was fire the puck in front of the net, right? And it went off. Who was their goalie? I forgot who the Ottawa goalie was. Allmark, and he kicked it to McDavid, and McDavid puts in the rebound. So you're with these highly skilled guys, but that wasn't a 3-man weave, 4 drop passes, and walk around a defenseman and pick the top corner. That was put the puck in front of the net, and Connor banged in a rebound. I mean, McDavid didn't have to go coast to coast on that one. He got one of the simplest forms of a goal in hockey: stand in front of the net and put in the rebound. So that, like this, everybody, I've been saying this all year though. Like, put the puck into the scoring area and have somebody going there. And again, with the Corey Perry goal last night, I realize there's a little bit of good fortune involved, that it goes in off a defender's skate, but he's making a powerful, bold move to the net, right? He's coming around, trying to wrap around, and he's putting the puck into an area where you might get a bounce or two in a game to put it in. So, yeah, we continue to talk about this, attitude, flaws in how they're doing, players with mistaken identities.
Well, there's a lot of chatter, Reid.
As there should be.
Reid Rick. McLean says, clearly miss Kane. Where does he fit in when he is healthy?
That's a really big if for me. And I'm not trying to deflect that question, but right now I'm not thinking too much about when Evander Kane comes back, because they need to bank some darn points before then. I think. But whenever he comes back, he'd probably be brought into the lineup slowly. I don't know if he would dive right in. I mean, who knows? It depends how they're doing, who's healthy, and all that kind of stuff.
Well, then look at this comment from Jason that says, they're a soft team. I've said it before. No team is afraid to play against them.
And that's because I think that now maybe that's they do miss Kane in that regard.
Toughness, team toughness.
Because I do think over the last couple of years with him and some other players, they'd become a bit more of a bully team. Kane, even I've talked about Fogel's physicality, not maybe being like Kane, but being heavy on the puck and heavy on the forecheck. Even Desharnais, like stuff like that. And quite frankly, Draisaitl's one of the biggest bullies on the team, and he's still there. They're not as rugged as you would like them to be. But how much of that? But then that's almost that same chicken to bit goalie or the chicken and egg debate that you talked about with the goalies and the defense. Are they not sort of rugged and heavy enough and hard enough because of the roster compensation, or what was the word I'm trying to say? Composition, or are there players who have played that way and now aren't doing it to the extent that they should be?
Like who? Who would be a player you would identify as a rugged player that isn't living up to
I don't necessarily mean a rugged player. I mean that willingness to muck it up.
Muck it up, okay.
Yeah.
But like, okay, who's on the roster right now that you could say would muck it up? Henrique ain't gonna muck it up. Connor Brown's not gonna muck
they
it
can
up.
get to the scoring area more. I'm not. This isn't just about aggression to me.
This is about offensive physicality.
This
so to
this
speak.
is about trying to make it difficult to play on the other team. That's a phrase that gets thrown around a lot. Well, being hard to play against. It's not necessarily just I have the power to run you through the glass.
Right.
It's that I am just going to be on you. I mean, there are guys in the NHL my height.
Yeah, Jeff Skinner.
You know, that are hard to play against.
Yeah.
But
he has been
because
like
they
that.
get in the way. And to me, being hard to play against, and this is maybe where I should, I always say we got to define what we mean. To me, being hard to play against is not just the Evander Kane is that I can body check you really hard and maybe fight you. That's one part of it. But to me, being hard to play against is I'm going to come at you fast on the forecheck. I am going to be in the right place in the neutral zone and frustrate you. I am going to chase you on the back check. I'm going to throw my body in front of a shot to block it. That's what I view hard to play against hockey as. It's not just, we can hit. That's part of it. But it's that if the other team looks up and wants to do something, there is always somebody denying you. There is always somebody checking you or in the way.
There's a term that they refer to on pretty much every NFL broadcast. This guy's got a motor. That's what kind of you're talking about. The no quit, a pain in your ass, always on you, always around the puck, always around the net. Just a high motor.
Well, kind of like how Janmark played in most of the playoffs.
Sure, exactly. But okay, so then why aren't players doing that?
I don't know, Jay. I don't know. If I confidently had the answer, I would phone Stan Bowman and say, I think you need to let me address the team.
But and I don't say that to put you on the spot per se, but that is the overarching theme of all the comments, all the messages that we're seeing is why is there no desire? The effort seems to be lacking. The motor is not there.
I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know. Do they need more sleep? Is it some sort of residual effect of last season? Is it a couple players being a year older than they were, and maybe they just didn't bounce back as well, or they're starting to decline? All those types of things are in play. Like I get it. I don't think there's any bad suggestions necessarily. And quite frankly, to be fair, you do see it in flashes. You do see it in flashes. It's not as if it's never there. And again, as Tom and I were talking about, they're not a terrible team, but they're a highly mediocre team. And given where you hope they are in their cycle here, you'd hope for a little more than that.
That's a great descriptive
they're
word.
17th overall. They're in points percentage.
Yep.
They're 17th overall. Like that's right in the middle of the pack. 16th, 17th are the two middle teams in a 32-team league.
Now, can you paint a bit of a positive picture in that they are highly mediocre in the standings? I think they're punching above their weight class in the Pacific Division. Based on what you've seen and what you think this team is capable of, is that not a bit of a positive that they're still in this fight, even though they've played with... It's windy.
Well, sorry. It's just... Ryan said it, and I've been saying it. They've turned into a bit of a two-man team. You don't feel like anybody's going to score. Now, I do think Hyman has been working. I know he hasn't been in, and he didn't play. They were without three good players last night, to be fair. But still, you can be harder to play against and more in the way, and not drop the puck in front of your own net and have three guys skate by it. And I'll say this, and I saw somebody put it in the nasty chat. I mentioned it last night when I was on with the guys. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, second period. You're between the hash marks. You got to step on your defender. Shoot. Don't drop it. I mean, I get it. Maybe you look up and think, Marc-Andre's got the angle covered. But shoot it. It might go in.
Come on.
There might be a rebound. That's all I'm saying. And I know it's Gager maybe is rolling his eyes because I've never been in that situation in an NHL game. But from my observations, most players shoot in that part of the ice, unless you're passing to McDavid for his point number 1,000. So to me, I'm thinking, okay, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, you have 2 goals on the season. You're on pace for 8 goals. You have an open look and you pass. Like that's something going on upstairs that just they're just not thinking or not thinking the right thoughts. Like that is not a pass situation. And especially, I don't remember who he's with on the play. I mean, maybe McDavid or Draisaitl, you might consider dropping it to. Anybody else, take the shot, Ryan. You got a good wrist shot.
Great, world class. But he hasn't been doing that all year.
Correct. 780-218-9999. Nasty chat on YouTube. You'll hear from Corey Perry. We have a very entertaining top 3. Oh, we got an entertaining buying or something. I think we have a darn entertaining show. We love you, Nasties. Back in a couple minutes.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Conveniently located 10 minutes west of St. Albert, Wheeler's RV Storage will provide you with safe, secure storage for your RV, boat, or whatever you need to store. Open 7 days a week with gated keypad access and extra large stalls. Now is the time to take advantage of their limited time offer. Buy 6 months and get 1 month free. Now's the time to go to WheelersRVStorage.com. That's Wheeler's RV Storage. Safe, secure storage. Visit them today at WheelersRVStorage.com.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
The Canadian Ice House is taking your sports experience to a higher level. Trackman golf simulators are now open at the Ice House, an immersive and realistic golfing experience in the heart of downtown Edmonton. Visit in-store or at thecanadianicehouse.com for details.
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups. From farm tractors to school buses to a big rig. From diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
The NHL has 2 games today, with the Jets opening up the night against the Penguins before the Sabres meet with the Anaheim Ducks. And Brock Besser of the Canucks has hit the ice with a no-contact jersey in practice after missing the last 2 weeks due to a concussion. Besser has no return date yet for Vancouver. And football sees Brock Purdy heading to the injury reserve with a shoulder issue as the 49ers start Brandon Allen this week. In Philly, the Eagles will be without Devontae Smith as he heads to the sideline due to a hamstring issue and will miss the game with the Rams on Sunday. NBA Cup group stage action goes down with the league having 8 games, including the Nets tipping off with the 76ers and the Maverick out with the Nuggets. The Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne continues right now. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you in the loop.
Good day to you. Thank you for listening to our program. Along with Jay Milne, I'm Reid Wilkins, Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton Sports. Zach Kubish is here as well. Joaquin Gage and Hernan Salas still hanging around. We've got a great crew here at Edmonton Sports Talk. Tomorrow at 7, Oil Stream pregame show with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Of course, Jay and I are with you until 6 o'clock. All right. I want to get to the question and answer I had with Corey Perry during his postgame scrum last night.
Are you guys mucking it up enough in front of the net in the offensive zone?
We talk about that all the time. No, probably not. There's not enough of it. Goalie's seeing too many shots, and we're trying to be too cute playing the perimeter game, and that just doesn't work.
Yep. So I asked him that question, and Jay, I got to be honest with you, I didn't know if that question was going to work or not. Because you kind of want to avoid yes/no questions sometimes because they might just say yes or no and look away, right?
Yeah.
But he sort of touched on that theme with a couple earlier answers, and I thought, is he going to think it's stupid that I'm using the phrase "muck it up"? But I thought, okay, I'll just ask it, and then he kind of took a second, and I thought, oh, he didn't like it. But then he said, well, we talk about that all the time. So instead of saying yes or no, he was kind of like, yeah, no kidding.
Right.
So I know, again, I feel we're going to have stuff that'll make you laugh. I feel we're just frustrating Oilers fans with a lot of the stuff we're telling them here, which is stuff they already know or have observed themselves. But that's the thing. Well, are you mucking it up tonight? Well, we talk about that all the time. And no, we aren't.
Well,
now, Perry, I will give credit. Given where he is on the roster and the expectations for him is, let's face it, an older player, I would say his season has been at the very least acceptable, if not very good.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, there's I wanted to keep this one here because I knew you had something on Perry, but Linda into the EST inbox. Corey Perry is the only guy playing with any pride. Maybe the rest of the players should ask themselves why he's played in the league forever and try to copy him.
Well, that's an interesting point. Yeah, pride's an interesting comment. I can't really know how much pride they're feeling, but I certainly know that they're not executing, and they don't appear to be as intense as they should be. But Linda makes an interesting point about having senior players on your team, right? I mean, Duncan Keith was he just here for 1 year? Even bringing Mike Smith in or players like that. I go back to even when Matt Hendricks was here. You would hope that, well, not just the younger players, that even the players in the middle of their careers would look at a Corey Perry type player and think, he's done some pretty cool things. I wonder what habits he has that I could observe and borrow. And it doesn't even mean that player is lazy or deficient. It's just good to sometimes look around you at the people in your environment that have been successful and think, oh, what's the extra 5% I could add to myself that I could get from Corey? He's, how old is he? Whatever, I can't remember. He's late 30s, right? Oh, I'd like to play that long. Maybe I should just, maybe next time on the plane or out for dinner, I'll just sit with Corey and say, geez, man, like you look like you're 28 out there. Like, what's your secret?
Well, don't they say imitation is the greatest form of flattery?
Yeah.
Right? And I agree. I think you can glean on that. Now, that doesn't solve all the world's problems.
There's no magic solution, but that's a fair
interesting
point.
and a fair point. And I think this is a fair point, too. And I don't think anybody, it was discussed earlier in the year, but it's kind of tapered off, but I still think it has some merit. This comes in on the EST inbox. I know everyone is trying not to talk about last season, but I think the Oilers are still worn down by last season's cup run. And I think it's starting to catch up with the Panthers, too. They started hot, but have now lost 4 of their last 5. That comes in from Percy. What do you think of that, Reid?
Okay, first of all, I just want to finish something with the previous point about, because we've been talking about intensity and passion and desperation and learning from your elders to some extent. Matt Hendricks was here several years ago. He was on not a very good Oilers team. And I'm not saying he was an awesome player, but he was sort of reliable. And then the year they made the playoffs, he took the warm-up at the request of his teammates who said, we want Matt out there during the warm-up with us. And I always enjoyed interviewing Matt or asking him questions because he was honest, he was thoughtful, he was appreciative of being in the National Hockey League. And he gave a quote along the lines of, it was something like, I know I'm about 10 bad shifts away from never playing in the NHL again. Like,
Yeah, well.
And I'm not saying Connor McDavid needs to tell himself that, but to me that was an interesting mindset. That's not mistaken identity. If we flash back to that. That's a player saying, I know exactly who I am.
That's realism.
I'm on the bubble.
Yeah.
I'm on the bubble. And I want to keep the bubble floating on the bubble as long as possible, because when it's burst, I may not have another bubble to float back in. Could you imagine stepping out on the ice for a shift in the NHL, and I'm not saying that would be his forefront, but what do people say? We all have kind of an internal monologue or an internal
dialogue,
like the subtext or whatever, like that the things your subconscious is telling yourself. Could you imagine having ingrained that in your being, that when you get on the ice for an NHL shift, at your very core, the fuel is, if this isn't a good shift, I may never have the privilege of playing in this league again. And look, Matt Hendricks wasn't a perfect player. I'm sure there are people going to say, well, he's a fourth-line player on a bad team. Fair, but still, I still remember, this was probably 10 years ago he said this to me, and I still remember that.
That's a very aggressive way of looking at it, but I don't mind having that fuel under your butt to say, yeah, get out there. Your career depends on these games, shift by shift. And I forget who said it the other day, but win that shift. Win that shift as a player, shift by shift, day by day, week by week, season by season.
Right.
Well, there you go. You've put together a career. It just doesn't seem like the intensity and the fire lit under their butts is there.
What was the other one? Can you reread that clip or the text that I ignored because I circled back to the other one?
Okay, I know everyone is trying to not talk about last season, but I think the Oilers are still worn down by last season's cup run, and I think it's starting to catch up with the Panthers too. They started out hot, but have now lost 4 of their last 5. That comes in from Percy.
Yeah, I've been increasingly reluctant to talk about last season as well. I guess I would say to Percy, check back in a month. I was looking at the Panthers season today too, and yeah, they have lost 4 of their last 5. Is that a glitch? Is that some sign of fatigue? I don't know. Do I still hear someone said it to me in the press box last night who was not associated with the Oilers or wasn't associated with the Wild, someone who observes games, who said that he thought that there might still be some fatigue for Edmonton from last year? I don't know. I try not to go too far down that path because it is a different team and a new year. In terms of what Percy wrote, I guess we'll see. If it's December 31st and both the Oilers and the Panthers are 9th or 10th in their conference and don't look like themselves, then yeah, maybe there is something to that, and it just hit the Panthers a little later than the Oilers. I don't know for sure. I guess we'll see by the time we get to the end of the season.
Chris G wanted to ask you a question, Reid.
Sure.
Are the Oilers in panic mode? And if anything, what do the Oilers need, and when will they do something?
Do I think the Oilers are in panic mode?
Are they in panic mode right now?
I don't think they are.
I don't think they are.
And is he talking organizationally? I don't think so.
No, I would say this is...
The players sure as hell aren't, because they don't play like they're panicking. But
look at it. You said they're 17th ranked team in the NHL.
Yeah. So
considering how they've been playing, in certain games, they have nights on, nights off, but as Dusty alluded to, they're beating bad teams.
And again, I'm not as much into the armchair GM stuff as a lot of other people. I guess the Oilers would tell you, well, we did do something. We claimed Kapanen. Underwhelming. I know people are throwing around John Gibson's name. I think that's unlikely. I think that I think this will probably be the roster for the first half of the season. Then once we get into January, February, something may be done. If it's clearly not going well enough, I would hope they don't wait till the trade deadline if it's really starting to slide. But no, to answer the question directly, I don't think they're in panic mode, but I will also say this, just speaking generally, I don't think good managers panic. I don't think that's an emotion they should have. I think they have
That's a fair point.
I think they have to recognize flaws and then act to correct the flaws.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say at all it's time to panic.
Well, I'm not panicky in general.
cool as a cucumber.
Well, when I ran out of chips the other day, I was panicking.
That's what they say. Hey, there's cool Reid.
But that's, I get the question. I mean, I get any question or concern that is coming in, but I don't know if they're running around panicking. I think they're saying, okay, we got some flaws here. I do think this is a demarcation point in the schedule. So tomorrow against the Rangers, they will get 0, 1, or 2 points. Whatever the result is, they're going to have a mediocre record, even if they win tomorrow. Okay? Then they have 5 days off without a game, or I guess 6 actually, right? Anyway, 5 or 6. Yeah, 5. Then they play Utah. By that point, now maybe Nurse plays tomorrow. Hyman and Arvidsson won't. But by that point next Friday, you would hope Hyman, Arvidsson, and Nurse are all in the lineup. And you hope everybody else is fairly healthy. And then you say, okay, now what's going to happen in the next 10 to 15 games? If they really can't start banking points after getting through a subpar first quarter of the season and then getting closer to the halfway point of the season, then I'm not saying it's panic mode, but then you're really sitting there recognizing, like, okay, this group of players can't get it going. We might have to shake it up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think that would be the right time because, opportunities aren't going to start presenting themselves. Look, these teams need to start stretching out. The cream of the crop needs to rise, and the teams that are going to be selling need to bottom out. And that won't be all that clear until January, February, like mid to late January, would you say? It's when you start to see that real strata in the NHL?
Yeah, I think now in December things will start to separate.
Sure. Okay.
Maybe like I know the Pacific is obviously very tight, and I know the point has been made. If the Oilers win last night and Vegas loses, they would have. Well, even if the Oilers would win last night, they're still really close to first in the division. I think we'll start to see now some teams that maybe aren't that good and who were playing over their head start to drop off. Maybe some other teams will wake up a bit. You hope the Oilers are one of them. But yeah, I think there'll be some separation in the standards between now and December in the standings.
Interesting question, and I know this is quite early to speculate, but Kelvin in the Nasty Chat said, "Who's going to be getting traded, guys?"
Well, I don't know, guys. Like I don't know.
What do you mean, Zoltar? Put on your Zoltar hat.
I mean, anybody that an Oilers fan would say we should trade this guy, as I know from experience, is usually somebody another team wouldn't want.
Yeah.
So who do you get at this time of year? The players you can get for free, like Kapanen. I mean, it'd be great to say trade Josh Brown. Okay. Like, for what?
Yeah, there's nothing in return.
All right, portions of this hour presented by the Canadian Brewhouse. NHL lives at the Canadian Brewhouse every Oilers game day. Like tomorrow, get $1 off tankards of Molson Canadian Coors Light. You can win game tickets and 2 tickets to a surf and turf dinner at the end of the season. Full details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com. We are going to get to our top 3 for food sausage when we get back. You are going to want to participate in this one. Here comes The Coop with a sports update.
On tap, it's the Jets and Penguins before the Sabres face the Ducks with just 2 games in the NHL. And in Edmonton, the Oil Kings have puck drop with the Tigers while the Golden Bears men's hockey team plays the Huskies during their first Teddy Bear Toss game down at the Claire Drake Arena. And NFL injuries see Brock Purdy out this Sunday with an injured shoulder. He hits the injury reserve while Devontae Smith gets sidelined this week for the Eagles with an injured hamstring. Out east, the Giants are set to release Daniel Jones with Jones heading to the waiver wire, having the possibility to land with another club. On the court, the Celtics meet the Wizards and the Kings tip off with the Clippers having 8 games in NBA Cup action. This sports update has been brought to you by Wheeler's RV and Boat Storage. Conveniently located 10 minutes west of St. Albert, Wheeler's RV is your safe and secure place to store your RV, boat, or whatever it is you want to store. Visit them at wheelersrvstorage.com today to get your storage needs taken care of. It's Reid's Top 3 for food sausage after the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you in the loop.
Ready for an unforgettable sports experience? It's the EST Flyaway to LA. Presented by the 780. Listen daily for the EST Flyaway keyword. Once you hear it, text us at 780-218-9999 for your chance to qualify to fly to LA. Round trip flights for two, hotel and car rentals, all to go see Edmonton face off against either LA or Anaheim. Plus, experience the brand new Intuit Dome as the Clippers tip off against the Warriors, and top it all off with the Rams kicking off against the Cardinals at SoFi Stadium. This is more than just a trip. This is the ultimate sports experience. The EST Flyaway to LA, presented by the 780 and Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, protect your interests. They'll be there every step of the way to help answer your questions and help you get your life back on track. Trust Alberta's precedent-setting injury lawyers with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, call James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, 780-428-0088, or go to jameshbrown.com.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Reid Wilkins Show. Something going on tomorrow in this city.
Nice.
Something going on in this city for sure. If you're going to the Oilers game tomorrow night, and even if you're not, but if you are, this is a must stop. From 3 to 8 tomorrow, the Winterval 2024 will be happening on 104th Street, north of Jasper Ave, as well as at the Ice District Plaza. There'll be live music. There'll be a horse-drawn wagon rides. There'll be Edmonton Cocktail Week pop-up.
Well, that sounds yummy.
With a winter patio drink special. Taffy pulling, Reid. Taffy pulling. I mean, who doesn't like
nothing
taffy
like a pulled taffy?
One of my favorite. And there'll be live music throughout from 5 to 8 o'clock. So give it a try. One I'm looking at here, 6 to 6:45. Major Love. Major Love is the moniker of songwriter and multi-instrumentalist Colleen Brown. This is a collaboration featuring Edmonton's own Scenic Route to Alaska. Soulful folk music that everyone will love. Go check it out. Our dear Tommy Gazzola, or as some would say, Tom Gondola, will be live for the GCL Diesel pregame show, which will be happening live from Kelly's Pub from 7 to 8. So if you do go down, please go see our dear friend Tony. If you are watching on YouTube, hammer that thumbs up. We are at a good, honest clip. But as we've mentioned this week, we are going to be upping. Now, not today, but we are ahead of schedule, and we'd like to finish this off early. Quinn Phillips, who is a part of putting on the Winterval, she's in the Nasty Chat. Downtown Winterval, love you, Jay. Oh, wow.
Quinn Phillips, outstanding human being.
She says, Reid Wilkins, hi.
Well, I said hi to her in the Nasty Chat.
Very nice of you.
Mike, the Michigan fan, who is softer, the Oilers or Dusty? I'm not answering that.
Oh, my is right.
Yeah, I just wrote, oh, my, as a reply.
Another thing, Winterval is free. Everything there is going to be free. Obviously, the cocktails are not going to be free, but if you want to bring your family down, it's going to be a beautiful day. There's supposed to be snow. It'll be a nice snowy afternoon. Make your way downtown. Check this out. This is going to be a fun day.
Yeah, it sounds like a good event.
Yeah.
Got a limerick here from Josh. Email reid@edmontonsportstalk.com. There were once hosts named Reid and Jay who led Edmonton Sports Talk each day. With insights so keen, they're on the sports scene, and they keep all fans in the fray. That is excellent work from Josh. I might as well do the big ukes as well. Thursday night's game against Mini, yawn. Bouchard on ice, more like Bambi the Fawn. Saturday at Kelly's Pub, hoping Oilers get the dub. Oil fans, remember, after darkness, there is dawn. Those are good ones today.
Wow.
This is great, because my initial thing was that I was going to write a few limericks a day, and now I don't even have to do it, because we just get stuff from listeners. Thanks for doing my job, everybody.
Speaking of stuff from
You will not be paid for it.
Chili Cheese really likes your beard. This is the second time Chili Cheese has mentioned that.
What do you mean?
They like it. Says at Reid Wilkins, I like your beard.
Oh, thank you.
And just hang on. Chili Cheese earlier. Reid looks so handsome with the beard.
Oh my!
Wait, is this Reid?
What's that?
Do you know Chili Cheese?
I do not.
Are you being honest?
I am being honest. I would say if I did. Well, I might, but I don't know. Maybe it is someone I know, but I don't know who that is, who belongs to that handle.
What if it was our dear Louise Wilkins?
My mom?
Chiming in as Chili Cheese.
She would not call herself that, and she would not be able to figure out how to chat. Sorry, Mom, but you wouldn't.
I think you look fantastic with it. Like I've said this before. If I could grow anything remotely similar to that, I would. It was striking would be the way I would describe it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I like having a beard. It's fun.
Mm-hmm. And it's soft. I felt it earlier in the week.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Did that weird
well,
you
you
out?
didn't ask.
I did. I said, come here.
You were like, that just kind of petted me.
Jay looks like Meatloaf with the beard. I'm going to have to, maybe I'll get a nice, like a good Halloween beard. You know, not a cheesy one, but like put some money into it.
Oh, like a costume beard, a fake beard, a prop beard, a costume beard. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Not a real beard.
You know, this is always the time of the day when parents are either picking their kids up, taking them to the, after school activities. So if you are out there, if you are picking your children up and you are listening to us, we commend you. We salute you. Enjoy your kids this weekend. Enjoy the snow tomorrow. It's going to be a fun weekend. And a special shout out goes to my dear handball superstar, Brady.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. She's a monster out there.
Oh, nice.
She put my daughter and her play on the same team, and she is something else. I'll tell you that. You don't want to. She's got a fastball. Oh, would not want to be in net for that. Reid, we got to get to our top three.
Yes. First of all, the off-topic topic for William Huff: your snow removal tips and/or stories and/or memories. And we also have a fun top three today for food sausage, the best sausages you will ever eat, locally made and packed full of flavor. Order online or visit them in-store, 6736 99th Street. Take advantage of their EST discount, 10% off your order by entering the online code EST or mention Edmonton Sports Talk in-store. Like if you were Yoda. Sausages I must have for Sports Talk Edmonton.
Sausages you get.
Oh, that's really good. Free delivery in Edmonton on orders over $100. As Food Sausage says, our meat you can't beat. You can't beat our meat.
Meat cannot beat.
This one is going to get participation, I'm sure. So the inspiration for this one, because sometimes people say, how do you come up with this stuff? Well, usually just something random happens, and we're like, oh, there's our topic. Jay, at about 2 o'clock, said, who wants snacks?
Well, I was going to take on Maddie in another game of crib.
Which you did.
Which I did.
I beat him too today.
Yeah, he had a bad day. He went 0 for 3 today. He played YouTube Trev earlier. Then he played you. Then he played me. And I can't look at a crib board without having some snacks around. I think it's just sacrilegious. So
you went and got some snacks, and you brought back a bag of Cool Ranch Doritos.
Cool Ranch
Doritos. And I said, favorite potato chip flavors. There's our top 3. So this is Reid's top 3. I assume you'll have some. And I'm sure that people in the diabolical dialogue and on the text line will have them as well. All right.
Well, what is yours?
I'm going.
Okay.
I have to put All Dressed on the list. I feel like that's a safe one. Now, everybody, this is chips, flavored chips. This is not dips. We'll do dips at another point.
Well, Zach's over there. Help!
Jeez. Poor guy.
It was a slow. Sorry, Zach. That was a low blow. Forgive me.
He's eating a banana.
Hey, whoa, stop. Time out.
All Dressed.
I heard you.
Yeah.
What brand, what variety? Like, there's 10 different styles of all dressed. You've got to clarify.
The one in the blue bag or the ones in the purple bag. Miss Vicky's are good. Well, Miss Vicky's has good chips. What's the type of the Cool Ranch you had?
Doritos.
Yeah, the Doritos. Aren't the Doritos all dressed good? Or are we thinking of Ruffles all dressed?
Ruffles.
Ruffles all dressed.
I think Ruffles all dressed are good.
Yeah, those are good. So, but generally, I think that's a safe flavor. And I'm thinking if you put that out in a party and wanted flavored chips, because my first one is very unique to myself, I think. Though I think anybody who hasn't tried it is missing out. I have to just say all dressed is like a safe, flavorful chip for a flavored chip that anybody could enjoy.
Okay.
Do you have one?
Well, I'm going to go into the Doritos category to start. It's very polarizing, but okay, here we are. I'm going to go with the Doritos zesty nachos, the zesty cheddar. It's like the extra cheesy
orange
one.
bag?
Yeah.
The orange bag?
Yeah. Give me all that.
Yeah, those are good. That'd be up there for me, but I don't know if I put it in the top 3. But that's a fairly safe flavor. I'm also going to put sour cream and onion.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much any variety is good, but I'll tweak this slightly. And I usually have a bag of these in the house, or my parents do, for me to snack on when I go over there. It's the Miss Vicky's sweet chili and sour cream. So either like a sour cream and onion or the sweet chili and sour cream from Miss Vicky's. Something along those lines.
Okay, I
have you had those ones?
Yeah, you put
delicious.
Miss Vicky's in front of me, any flavor.
Miss Vicky's is good.
The sea salt and malt vinegar. I mean,
Yeah,
that is the OG of
you
salt
like
and
those the
vinegar
best,
chip.
Okay.
Well, salt and vinegar, though, the problem is that you get when you eat too many spits over a campfire evening and you get the raw mouth, it's like,
right.
That's what happens with the sea salt and malt vinegar.
You get all salted out.
If I'm going to go into the Miss Vicky's category, there's only one that stands alone at the top of my Mount Rushmore, and that is the Miss Vicky's Honey Dijon. If you have not tried...
you brought those in.
Yeah. If you have not tried Miss Vicky's Honey Dijon, do yourself a favor, people. Do yourself a favor and go out and get them.
Bronco Nick says the Lay's Smoky Bacon or the Old Dutch Ketchup. He likes those one. Chris G says salt and vinegar, any brand, but put them in the freezer, as you've been recommending.
Oh, yeah.
Hambone says Orion's sour cream, but then he has in brackets extinct.
Orion's.
They got poached, and the Lay's dill pickle. Chris G also says Orion's sour cream and onion, though I guess they don't exist anymore. Salt and vinegar from Rip City Step. He likes Miss Vicky's. So, all right. So a lot of votes for salt and vinegar, and I don't know about this Orion's sour cream and onion.
I've never seen this. Have you seen this? Like Orion's?
I don't remember that bag at all.
I've never seen that.
No, I have no memory of ever seeing that in a store.
I consider myself
maybe it was only in certain Edmonton neighborhoods. It was like just in Londonderry and Killarney. Where are you shipping those chips? Just to Londonderry, lad.
Now, this may totally kill my board, but I'm just going to stay true to myself.
Yeah.
There's a brand they're called Humpty Dumpties. They're rings. They're sour cream and onion rings.
So not a chip, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's not essentially a chip, but it comes in a chip bag. It's in a chip aisle.
Yeah.
My wife thinks these are the most disgusting things on the planet. But if you open that around me, it ain't.
I don't know if it's the same ones, but I remember eating sour cream and onion rings when I was a kid.
It's the same
the kind of ones, those you eat them so fast, and then after you've had about 30 of them, you feel like you might vomit.
Yeah.
But man, oh man, you've enjoyed them.
Man, it was a good one, though. It was a good ride while it lasted.
And if it is a puke, it's going to be a tasty puke on the way back up.
Joan says kettle cooked sweet ghost pepper. I know Norm's in the chat.
Who makes those?
I don't think.
Kettle cooked sweet ghost pepper. How hot are those, Jodes?
Kettle cooked has a good selection. Actually, if you want to talk about kettle cooked, then you need to include the kettle cooked salt and vinegar. That is a premier salt and vinegar chip. They are extra vinegary. The Kettle brand, salt and vinegar. Do pork rinds count as chips?
I don't know. I think we want to do chips today.
Yeah, we'll have our favorite flavors of pork rinds another week.
We'll do pork rind week. It's all pork. We could do pork week.
Yeah.
I don't know how Dolores, the company hen, would feel about that, though. She might be jealous.
Yeah.
She's working late on a Friday, though. I hand it to her. The Henway is going to be icy for her getting home. 780-218-9999. All right, food, sausages, top 3 potato chip flavors or chip flavors. Okay, people might remember that I brought this up before. I can't remember if I talked about it on this show, but I did talk about it on Ched a couple times, I think with Jay Lynn, so a while ago. And this chip I have not seen in a while. I only ever saw it at the Italian Center on 95th. I don't know if the other Italian centers carried it, but I haven't seen it there in a while, or if my mom would go there, she would try to grab a bag of this. The company is Deep River, and it's the horseradish and cheddar chip.
Oh, you've talked about
I have. They're delicious. That would be my number one. They're so good, and they frighten people. And I say, don't be frightened. Embrace the horseradish and cheddar. It's hard to say, horseradish and cheddar, but it's so good.
Sounds like a spicy cheddar.
There must be other horseradish chips out there besides this one. Well, I guess, yeah, maybe it's similar to the sweet chili and sour cream one, but it's not actually. It's better. They're so good. It's one of those, I'll just grab 5 chips and then you wind up eating the whole bag because it's so good. You've never tried these?
No, I want to
try
so
them?
bad. Yes.
Yeah, they sound good, but some people are grossed out. I think I told the story. I took them to, my buddy and his wife had me and a couple other people over, and I brought a bag of these chips, and I said, hey, can I dump these in a bowl? And I put them on the table. Everybody's sitting, and I have a couple, and I was like, hey, I brought these chips, and they're like looking at me really weird because they can smell them a bit. And they're like, what are they, Reid? And I was like, they're horseradish and cheddar. They're really good. And people are just like I almost felt like they wanted me to leave. Yeah. Like, how dare you poison us with your bizarre chip flavors?
Get this horseradish out of here,
Jedi.
I think the word horseradish is what throws people off. If you just said spicy cheese, or Gager brought in those tuna rolls today, and he had wasabi. Wasabi cheddar, call it.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That's fine. Now, there are lots of people. Haas says Cool Ranch Doritos.
Which we had today.
That's what, yeah, they are. They are very good. Lime and black pepper Miss Vicky's comes in from Shawnzy. I like that one. A lot of Miss Vicky's here. Wow. Miss Vicky spicy dill pickle. Sobkirk says Jay is my kind of guy. It sounds like he just loves all chips.
Well, most chips are good,
I
yes.
do.
But some flavors are better than others, I think.
Jay's top 3 chips doesn't name a single chip. What do you mean?
Well, you just brought in the
I guess I said
rings.
nachos.
No, those are chips.
Yeah, those are chips.
I guess I shouldn't have said potato chips. Chips.
In the chip aisle.
In the chip aisle. So
Sure.
corn chips or potato chips.
So what did I say? I said chips. I said
you brought in the
zesty
rings.
cheese.
Yeah, you brought
rings.
You brought in the rings.
And then
somebody else
Miss
said
Vicky's.
pork rinds.
Miss Vicky's. Honey
Yes, which
Dijon.
is a chip.
That's a chip.
That is definitely a chip.
I don't know. Grumpy Cat went for happy hour a little early today. Jared says anything but ketchup. Really, Coob?
Yeah, I'm not a huge ketchup flavored fan, to be honest with you.
Have you ever had
even barbecue? I'm not a huge fan of.
Ruffles ketchup chip?
I don't know. I would sooner have other flavors though.
Yeah. I must admit, ketchup is not the one I reach for first Coob.
And I don't think they have that in the States, because didn't
No,
Chip
they
Hubbard
don't.
have to bring a whole bunch of chips
They
down
don't,
a couple
and
years
people
ago?
look at it in the most dumbfounded way and say, "What are you doing up in Canada?" And I kind of get it.
780-218-9999. Sorry, were you asking Coop something that I interrupted?
Well, yeah. You said you agreed. Oh yeah, here's the picture of your Deep River chips. Why?
Let me see.
You don't like horseradish chips?
Yeah, those are the ones.
I haven't tried horseradish chips.
Sorry, ketchup.
Yeah. No, I'm not particularly a fan either. Like they're whatever. I find them too salty, and just the certain taste that they have is just it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. The aftertaste. I would have almost anything else. I'd have plain chips over ketchup chips.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Vic says horseradish chips on a roast beef sandwich would be delicious.
Oh, that would be actually.
would
Well, we
be.
were talking about that sandwich at Faro that they put ripple chips on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the chips on sandwiches are good. They add a nice crunch to it. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube if you approve of or don't approve of our chips, or you participated in the conversation. We will have.
Where do you come out? Sorry, I
What?
got to get your opinion on it. Where do you come out on hickory sticks?
Well, I like hickory sticks.
Do you?
They're just so messy to eat.
My middle daughter loves hickory sticks. I find them too salty. I know
like
that's
salty
kind of an
stuff, though.
oxymoronic thing to say about
I like salty
chips,
stuff.
but
Yeah. Yeah, I like salty stuff.
jalapeno cheddar. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, those are pretty good, too. Some of them are quite hot. We are in the James H. Brown Personal Injury Law Firm, the heavy hitters of injury law. The studio. We're not actually in the law firm. We're not members of the law. We're not barristers.
Or solicitors.
We're the James H. Brown studio. James H. Brown Personal Injury Law Firm, the heavy hitters of injury law. With over 200 years of experience, James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. Visit them at jameshbrown.com. Book your private consultation today. More from you. We do have some texts and messages on the Oilers we want to get to. We have fired up for Gemco. We have buying or selling for Damon Bunting. Thanks for checking out the show. Back in a couple minutes.
On the ice, it's the Penguins facing the Jets and the Ducks battling the Sabres, with the Oilers back at it tomorrow, dropping the puck against the Rangers. And Brock Besser has taken to the ice sporting a non-contact jersey in practice after missing the last 2 weeks with a concussion. Besser's timeline for return is unclear. And it's the Medicine Hat Tigers in town to battle the Oil Kings, while the Golden Bears men's hockey team welcomes in the Huskies to hold their first ever teddy bear toss game. In football, the 49ers will start Brandon Allen this weekend as Brock Purdy heads to the IR with a shoulder injury, while the Eagles will be without Devontae Smith in their game against the Rams as he gets sidelined with a hamstring issue. And basketball has the Blazers and Rockets, as well as the Pacers and Bucks going at it during NBA Cup group stage action. This sports update has been brought to you by Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy. Get treated like a pro with their highly skilled crew. Whether you're recovering from an injury or looking to enhance your performance, Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy uses the same locker room approach, trusted by the best in the game. Find them online at AdvantageSportMed.ca. We got a quick timeout, and the Reid Wilkins Show returns after the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you in the loop.
Conveniently located 10 minutes west of St. Albert, Wheeler's RV Storage will provide you with safe, secure storage for your RV, boat, or whatever you need to store. Open 7 days a week with gated keypad access and extra large stalls. Now is the time to take advantage of their limited time offer. Buy 6 months and get 1 month free. Now's the time to go to WheelersRVStorage.com. That's Wheeler's RV Storage. Safe, secure storage. Visit them today at WheelersRVStorage.com.
780 is just another lame-ass, low-budget local shop. Homegrown right here in Edmonton. 780 is both the shop name and their in-house clothing brand that celebrates all things unique to E-Town. They also work with close to 1,000 local vendors from the 780 to help promote and get their brands off the ground. Check them out online at 780.com or at any of their 5 locations at Southgate, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, and the Outlet Mall by the airport.
Food Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at foodsausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Food Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
At Mind360, we invite you to embark on your mental health journey in a safe and comfortable space. Conveniently located in St. Albert, Mind360 has a diverse team of experienced clinicians that offer a broad range of tailored services for children, adults, and families. Furthermore, we are very proud to serve our military, veterans, and first responders. If you're looking for counseling, treatment, or assessment, understand that you are not alone. Contact Mind360 at mind360.ca to book an appointment today.
Tomorrow on Edmonton Sports Talk, 7 p.m., the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas to tee up the Oilers and the Rangers. They will meet at 8 o'clock at Rogers Place, and then the boys will be on after the game as well with the postgame show, and then no Oilers game until 1 week for tonight, where they visit the Utah Hockey Club. 780-218-9999. What do you have, Jay?
Reid, this has fired people up. I love it on a Friday afternoon. Our very own YouTube Trev chiming in. Doritos Sweet Chili Heat, often overlooked but very lovely. Old Dutch Ketchup and Dill Pickle are the goats of chips. C-Run says, are pretzels being considered? And
No.
You know me, Reid. I love my pretzels. But for this, Rip City Step responded to that and said, pretzels are made for encouraging drinking.
That's true.
That's true.
That's very true.
But Waddy and Cloverdale may have come up with something that needs to happen.
Okay.
Ruffles and Hickory Sticks need to collab. Can you imagine a ruffle chip flavored with hickory stick?
Well, it's kind of barbecue-ish, wouldn't it be?
No, maybe.
I don't know.
But I'm here for all that. Norman Combine says, okay, the Wendell Clark restaurant in Saskatoon makes the coating for the fish and chips from the Miss Vicky's sea salt and malt chips. Next level, he says.
Oh, really? That sounds pretty good.
Seal is back in the nasty chat.
Seal is here. Good.
Wow, this YouTube it just goes around the world. Jay, you lost me with the rings, but you won me back with the Miss Vicky's Dijon mustard. All the best from your pal, Seal. Thank you, Seal.
Kissed by a chip. Kissed by a flavored chip.
Love it.
Fun. Keep those coming in. And also your snow clearing stories and or tips or situation. The off-topic topic for William Huff.
Coob, actually, I sent you something there into the Yag inbox.
Oh, yeah, we didn't get your what's your snow clearing situation?
Well, it's similar to the Big Ukes, which Coob is bringing up here. I've got a big driveway, so I've skid steer that I run.
Well, this is the thing you put up. You lifted yourself in.
Yeah, big old snow bucket,
right?
Big 8-foot bucket. Now, Big Uke, as you can see here, he's moving around his sled, getting it ready for winter time. But yeah. Big Uke and I are clearing our snow in the same manner. It's fun. I got a heated cab. Throw it on a podcast, and I'm away.
On a podcast?
I listen to a podcast.
Oh, you throw on a podcast. I thought you said throw it on a podcast.
I did say I throw it on a podcast. That would break the podcast, I think.
That would crush it entirely.
But
so how long does it take you to clear your snow?
Well, it depends on the level of clearing I'm doing. If I'm just doing the driveway and not the backyard,
yes,
it's half hour.
Okay.
But I always go and do my neighbors.
Well, it's very kind of you.
Wally, he's an older fella.
Okay.
So I go do his, and then I go down the road around the corner and do my other elderly neighbor, my Polish neighbor.
Does anybody ever beat you to it?
Sometimes. Sometimes there are a couple neighbors that like to get out there and do that. And we're on a corner.
Right.
So I always do our corner, too.
You go out on the road and do the corner.
Yeah.
Which technically is not your responsibility at all.
Not mine at all.
Right.
But when you're going to the other neighbors and then the other neighbors, you might as well have the bucket down.
Right. Oh, okay. And then you just dump it in the ditch or what?
Yeah, man.
Make a snowman.
And we make a big snow pile for the girls in the backyard. Snow's awesome. I like snow. I'm excited for tomorrow.
Or would you say you're fired up for tomorrow?
I am.
For Gemco Fireplaces, proudly serving Edmonton and an area for 45 years, the authorized dealer for Napoleon Fireplaces. Whether it's gas or wood burning, look no further than Canadian-made Napoleon Fireplaces. All the Napoleon products you need are available at Gemco, 9281 50th Street. Tomorrow is a game against the New York Rangers. A couple people said to me today, and this fired me up, well, isn't this a must-win for the Oilers?
Oh, boy.
When I remember earlier this year, I did my top 3 overused sports phrases.
Yeah.
I probably should have put must win on the list. Okay? You would love to win every team. Many of you, if most of you listening, are Oilers fans. You would like them to win every game. People are passionate. They get upset if the Oilers do not win a game. I get it. Guess what, everybody? It's not a must-win tomorrow. You know the last time the Oilers played a must-win? It was Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. And the 3 games they played prior to that were must-wins, because if your season is going to end if you lose, then it's a must-win. Sorry, I refuse to call any other game a must-win. Now, I know if you lose a bunch of games in a row, then, that's going to be bad. But I still, let's be clear here. It's not a must-win tomorrow. If the Oilers lose tomorrow, okay, that'll suck. We'll have more issues to talk about on Monday and in Tom and Hernan's show after the game tomorrow. It is not a must-win. I am fired up about must-win being overused. It's not a must-win. You'd like to win it. They'd feel better if they won it. You'd like them to win and start taking some steps in a more positive direction. It is not a must-win. So do not throw... Here's the thing. Do not throw must-win at me. Do not throw unbelievable at me. That was from an earlier list. Unbelievable.
You're really passionate about this must-win talk.
It's not a must-win. How is it possibly... Okay, if you say it's a must-win for the Oilers tomorrow, then you have to justify that. How is it a must-win? They would like to win. They'd like to win more often. They'd like to play better. Tomorrow's game, though, is not a big-picture must-win. How is it? It's not.
Okay, so is there can't lose games?
Oh, come on. Next, you're going to get me going on trap games, which I also think are horse bleep.
What about look-ahead games?
I don't even know what that means.
That means you're looking past the opponent you're playing tomorrow, and you're looking towards the next opponent. Look-ahead games. Can't lose?
What's the difference between a can't lose and a must win?
It's totally different.
Okay, what's the difference?
Must win is a game that would be like what you described, like a game 7 of a playoff matchup.
Okay.
Or the final, like an
elimination
divisional
game.
final, elimination game.
Yes.
Can't lose is more motivational. You simply can't lose to this game, to this team.
Right, but then if you do, okay, so what? Life goes on.
But there is a difference between a can't lose and a must win.
But it's both a bad phrase. It's both a silly phrase that's ultimately meaningless. Okay, so you're saying if Shaquille O'Neal played me in a one-on-one game of basketball, you'd say for Shaq, it's not a must-win, but it's a can't lose. He can't lose to 5'8", 50-year-old Reid Wilkins. Now, he wouldn't, but if he did, so what? He lost. Doesn't mean he can never play basketball again.
Okay,
he probably want to
Jake
retire.
Paul's fight was a can't lose.
Oh,
there.
My God. Okay,
See?
that's enough. We didn't even talk about how bad that was.
I'm just saying.
Well, I couldn't
that's
even watch it. Well, I guess we talked about it a little bit.
That's a perfect example of a can't lose.
How is that a can't lose?
You simply can't lose that.
Okay,
but it's not a must win.
He's not even a real boxer.
But it's not a must win because if he doesn't win, who cares? But he can't lose.
Why can't he lose?
That's a can't lose because you just simply can't lose to 58-year-old Mike Tyson.
He could have.
But he can't.
What if he would have? So what?
So then it's a must win.
It's not. That's not even, but that wasn't even a real fight. That wasn't a league fight. That wasn't the National Boxing League.
It was commissioned.
Well, okay.
Can't lose.
But he's not a real boxer trying to win a belt.
Jake Paul is a real boxer.
He's not a professional boxer.
Is he a world-class boxer? No.
No,
he's not. Has he fought and won against a real boxer other than Mike Tyson, who's clearly over his prime? No. So that's why that was a can't lose. Wasn't a must win.
I don't understand it's a can't lose. Okay. So let's say who's playing tonight in the NHL? Is tonight Winnipeg Pittsburgh?
Winnipeg Pittsburgh Sabres Ducks.
Okay, so Winnipeg Pittsburgh.
Winnipeg,
that's a big discrepancy in the standings.
That's a can't lose for the Jets.
But they might lose.
I know.
So what? So if they lose to the Penguins, they're in disarray?
But that's what the premise of a can't lose is that you really shouldn't lose. You can't lose to that Pittsburgh team.
Right, but teams lose games like that all the time.
But it's not a must win.
Sports.
It's not a must win. It's a can't
Well,
lose.
it's definitely not a must-win.
I've agreed with you on must-win.
But if you're saying that, then you have to sell to me that the consequences are so vital, are so overwhelmingly negative.
Can't lose is not life or death. It's an emotional.
It's just saying you're heavily favored. So then just say that they're heavily favored.
There's no fun in that. Say they can't.
Well, it's more accurate.
Can't lose.
They can't.
Say it's can't lose.
It's a shouldn't lose. I say, well, they shouldn't lose to them. Okay, I'll get that. I might go for that.
There.
It's
See?
a can't lose. Well, they can lose.
See, we're agreeing. We're doing this.
No, we're not agreeing. Not agreeing. I'm mildly compromising by using language.
Yeah, I would say though that this is a must win is overused, and I myself am guilty of it. If you only would recall some of the kickoff and post game shows for our beloved Elks that I was a part of.
It's just your average Canadian says hockey is ultimately meaningless, so there's no such thing as a must win going by Reid's logic. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's not a must win until your season ends if you don't win that game. If tomorrow's Oilers game is not a must win. If you are
But it's neither. It's neither a must win or a can't lose.
Here's the thing. Western Conference Final. Oilers on home ice, Game 4 against the Dallas Stars.
Can't lose game. That's a classic can't lose game.
But it's not a must win.
It's not a must win.
I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying a can't lose game is. Is it a game that you're heavily favored in?
It's a game that has
it's a game you'd prefer not to lose. Well, of course you'd prefer not to lose.
Emotional attachments to it. And for team bonding purposes, team moving forward purposes, Game 4 against Dallas was a can't lose. A home ice Game 4.
But then you're telling these
it's
players,
not a must win.
Okay, but then you're telling these players, okay, hey guys, you still have life. It's only 3 games to 1, but you're pretty much done because you lost the game I called the can't lose.
I didn't say that. You're the one that said that.
No, I was asking you how you would label it, and you said you'd label it a can't lose.
Yes.
But if they would have lost, the season still would have been going.
Well, then you get yourself in a must-win situation.
So now you're telling me there's a progression. First you lose a can't lose.
Slippery slope.
And then it becomes a must-win.
Yes. Well, how else do you get to a must-win situation?
The must-win just exists when your season is on the line.
You can't lose games. Then you get in a must-win situation.
But I'm not clear on what a can't lose game is. Is it a game in which you're so heavily favored you shouldn't lose? Or it's a game if you lose, you put yourself in peril?
Big Uke says, I'm with Jay. It's more emotional when you use can't lose, but must win is more literal.
It's more emotional when you lose a can't lose, but must win is a more literal. Well, yes, must win. I am using the literal term for must win. So your argument is that a can't lose game is one that if you lose, you feel really down in the dumps about, more than losing a normal game. Is that what you're saying?
No, it's the opposite. What? It's when you win. When it's a can't lose game, you need to win that game for the emotional lift you'll get out of it. Can't lose.
Okay,
but I do agree with you that once you do lose a can't lose game, you get into a must win.
No, I'm not saying that. I was trying to understand what you're saying. I'm saying neither term should be used, but especially must win. Unless the team's eliminated if they don't win.
Then it's a must win.
Yes. Then that's what I'm saying.
Or if you put together 2 or 3 can't lose losses.
But
they lead to must win.
But if you're saying it's can't lose, how could there be 2 or 3? It would be, to me, that's a one and done. If you can't lose and you lose, then you're saying, well, now things are so bad, you'll never feel good about anything ever again. Welcome to the toilet of your life.
Split games 1 and 2 on the road.
Okay.
Come back, lose game 3 on home ice.
Okay.
You're only down 2-1 in the series. Game 4 is a can't lose.
That's what happened to the Oilers against Dallas.
Can't lose. Then you're screwed.
No, then you play Game 5.
And that's a must-win.
Yes, that would be a must-win.
There you go.
But it's not. Okay. A does not lead to B necessarily in that situation. So that's what I'm fired up about. It's not a must-win for the Oilers against the Rangers tomorrow.
Vic says
They'd
can't
like
lose
to win
games
it.
are just embarrassing to lose.
Okay, I'll buy that more than what you were saying.
And Norman at Combine says can't lose was the game against the Habs. Heavily favored.
Matt Hyman, when you play versus the worst team in the league, it's a can't lose. Yeah, I guess. But if you lose, your life and season goes on. That's my point. I got to calm down now. That went more fiery than I thought it was going to be.
Steelers-Brown game. This comes in from Sickler. The Steelers-Brown game comes from last night. Has to be a can't lose for the Steelers, and then they go and lose. But I don't know about that because those AFC North matchup divisional games are always...
It was snowing. I saw that. I didn't see much of the game. It was snowing.
Down very fast.
780-218-9999. You can jump into the nasty chat on YouTube. If you are on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up or encourage other people in your life to give us a thumbs up as we chase 100 for every program. We're still going to get to some of your texts and comments about the Oilers, and I think a couple about the Elks as well. We have the EST Flyaway to LA keyword, and we also have buying or selling a Christmas-themed edition for Damon Bunting. It's the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. Hope you're having a great day.
Get all the latest news and takes on everything Oilers with Dustin Nielsen and Tom Gazzola on the Oil Stream. Live at noon, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Book your holiday party at the CBH today. The Canadian Brewhouse is your ultimate destination for events, parties, fundraisers, and more. 'Tis the season to celebrate. Visit and book now in-store or at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems. But did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers, understood.
The NHL has 2 games on the schedule, with the Jets opening up the night against the Penguins before the Sabres meet with the Ducks. Brock Besser of the Canucks hits the ice with a no-contact jersey in practice after missing 2 weeks with a concussion. Besser has no set return date for Vancouver. And football sees Brock Purdy heading to the injury reserve with a shoulder issue as the 49ers start Brandon Allen this week. And in Philly, the Eagles will be without Devontae Smith as he heads to the sideline due to a hamstring issue, and he will miss the game this weekend against the Rams. NBA Cup group stage action goes down with the league having 8 games, including the Nets tipping off with the 76ers and the Mavericks with the Nuggets. The Reid Wilkins Show continues right now. I'm Zachary Kubish for your sports update.
We are back inside the James H. Brown studio for the Reid Wilkins Show. Reid, we had some more dialogue coming in on the EST inbox for our William Huff off-topic topic. How do you clear snow? And do you have any good stories from that? So, Andrea from Calgary, snow removal tip if you have younger children, pile it up into a small sledding hill where you can watch them sled from the warmth of your indoors. Gotta love that. And I believe this comes in from Grumpy Cat. Snow clearing. Growing up with my dad, brother, and I would shovel for our neighbors up in Grand Prairie who were mostly seniors. One was in her 80s, and when it was minus 40, we'd race to her first as she'd see us and go do it. We didn't always do hers if it was light, and she told us it was her physical activity. Spring borscht is the best payment. Gotta love that. And I will add to my Polish neighbor. She will generally leave a couple bags of pierogies at the front door. Not that that's why I do it, but I do appreciate her hand-pinched pierogies. Nothing better.
I put into Chat GPT.
Yes.
What is the difference between a can't-lose game and a must-win game?
All right.
Here's the reply from Chat GPT, which for people who don't know is an artificial intelligence engine that may someday be our master. The difference between a can't-lose game and a must-win game lies in the context and stakes associated with the game's outcome. Can't lose, definition, a game where avoiding a loss is crucial, but a win is not absolutely necessary. Context, these games typically occur when a team still has some leeway for achieving their goals, for example, playoff qualification or seeding. A loss would be damaging, but not catastrophic. Psychological aspect, the focus is on maintaining momentum or preventing a setback rather than needing a victory at all costs. Example, a team is leading its division late in the season and a loss could let a rival close the gap, but a win is not essential because there are enough games remaining to recover. Now, a must-win game, according to ChatGPT, definition, a game where winning is essential to achieving a specific goal, such as avoiding elimination or securing a playoff berth. Context, these games often occur in high-stakes situations like playoffs or when a team is on the brink of missing out on its objectives. A loss would mean failure or elimination. Psychological aspect, intense pressure exists because there is no room for error. Example, a team is facing elimination in a playoff series or a win is required in the final game of the season to make the playoffs. All hail ChatGPT, who may replace Matthew Iwanek.
This text comes in. I like listening to you guys, but man, do you get on some stupid rants. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. That's why we're here.
That's what we're doing it for. That was interesting. I think GPT just agreed with me.
No, he didn't.
Well,
yeah,
I was gonna say. Well, what do you?
Well, it summarized what I said. A must-win is okay. I guess that it kind of agreed with your can't lose.
Reid, we're both right.
Thank you, ChatGPT.
There you go.
For proving everybody right.
We love
before we
ChatGPT.
get to buying or selling, I know you got a lot of Oilers messages coming in. Let's try to get to a couple of those here because people are passionate about the struggles of our beloved hockey team.
Okay, this is a bit of a novel here, but stick with it. Evan Bouchard is a defenseman. The very name of the position implies that defense should come first and be something that the player is at least passably competent at. Bouchard does not negate plays physically, nor does he negate plays with astute position defending. His skill with the puck does not offset his incompetence at his very position. He should not be in the lineup, or he should be converted to a forward. That comes in from Andrew. Well written, Andrew. What say you?
Well, I understand the frustration with Bush's plays this season, and he was not good last night in terms of some observational defense in front of his own net. Look, they're not going to convert him to a forward. Like I've been saying about Bouchard all week, he is never going to be a great defensive player, but I think he has to be better than he has been. I think he has to get better at avoiding large mistakes because that's really what is killing him, and then his offense isn't offsetting it or exceeding the mistakes.
Well, then you're going to love this one that I saved especially for after this, was Matthias Ekholm has lost a step. I think that is affecting Bouchard, who can't do much without an exceptional partner. That comes in from Rodney Saferfield.
As opposed to Dangerfield, I guess.
I
I think Matthias Ekholm is still a very good player. I realize he's getting older. He's had a couple of tough games this season, but so has the whole team. I'm not ready to throw Ekholm on the washed-up pile myself by any means.
Okay. And
Are
then
you?
some no. I'm not at all. He did not have a great game last night. That was turnovers were an issue for both him and Bouchard. And our dear friend Laserface Larry, this fellow always gets the people excited. I really get a kick out of Edmontonians trying to be optimistic about their two sacred teams. The Elks will be saved by two former players. The Oilers will eventually figure it out. Get set for several seasons of disappointment. City of chumps. Oh, that comes in from Laserface Larry.
All right. Well, he's. I think he lives here too. Must be miserable for him to have probably all friends and family who are Oilers and Elks fans. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see, Laserface Larry. Thanks for your energy.
And Norman Akombai says, I agree with Andrew. Give him a canned ham, Kellen.
Kellen's not here. We'll get him a Dolores the Hen autographed poster. She just types her name on it.
Pecks it.
Yeah, just pecks her name. Dolores the Hen. Yeah,
I like that.
Very provocative posters that we're getting made of a Dolores the Hen, I must say.
She is.
She's going to be in the calendar. Yeah.
She's getting a little bit more weird.
She's getting a little spicy.
Yeah. Well, Dustin's not even here yet.
He hasn't even met Dolores. 780-218-9999. Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. What do you think, Jay?
What do I think?
About, anything. What about some of those messages?
I think it's a little bit of an overreaction, especially in mentioning Ekholm is his play diminishing. I don't think that's the case at all. Bouchard is a bit of a wild card for me because on one side, yes, you got to think about what you said, is that is who he is. He's an offensive defenseman, and there have been several offensive defensemen that have been prolific players in the NFL, in the NHL. But it's on the other end that I think a lot of fans still expect there to be a certain level of competency.
Yes,
that is not being reached. And what did you covet? Above moderate level of play? As far as where the Oilers are in the standings, I think that's where people expect Bouchard's defensive side to be at, and it is not even remotely close.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he's not going to defend as sturdily as some other players. That's just who he is. I mean, I just saw someone in the chat saying he should be like Makar. He doesn't skate that well, first of all. But Makar is better defensively than Bouchard. Now, any defenseman that plays a lot, as he and Ekholm do, they are going to be on the ice for goals against. They are going to beat sometimes. But the problem with Bouchard is he sort of hands other teams chances. Like the Toronto game, like yesterday, backing away, not engaged. I mean, okay, maybe he's not going to be a bruiser and a huge body checker and clear the front of the net, with slashing or with big hits, but get on the other guy's stick at least. Try to knock the puck away. Do something. Get involved. Get in the muck, as I've been saying.
Yeah, it's a lack of effort defensively that is continually happening, and it's they're becoming clips where you're wondering, what is this guy doing?
Well, a lack of, and I've been going back to this awareness, concentration, whatever you call it. Okay, what is my job right now? Oh, this guy, he's in a very dangerous area. I must put my stick on him, check him, disrupt him, knock the puck away, do something, not, I wonder what's going on. Oh, that guy, that was my guy. Oh, well. Hey, sorry, Stu. Hey, good save on the first one there, Stu. I'll try to clear the rebound next time. That kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, you can look no further than when Jack Eichel walked down Main Street when the Vegas Golden Knights were here and he barely took 2 pumps with his skate.
Right.
That is happening too often. It's outweighing the offensive prowess, I guess you could say, right?
Well, yeah, and the frustrating thing with Bouchard, I mean, even that game against Toronto where he's chasing back, and then he kind of just doesn't skate. We like that whole word intensity. Okay, remember the puck kind of I can't remember how it got back there, but it's floating back towards the Oilers' end. Ekholm's chasing the guy, and Bouch was sort of like, okay, Matthias is chasing him. Well, no, you got to chase him too.
Yeah.
Or if you're not chasing him, turn around and see who he could pass to and go check that guy. That's the frustrating thing about Bouchard is when people see that sort of like, oh, ho hum, I guess that's somebody else's job.
And I think that's the crux of the issue. Is you see that, and now, okay, if he was putting up, if he was second leading scorer on the Oilers, that would be forgiven for the most part. But it's not the case. Let me ask you this. I've said this before, and it's starting to be now stringing together game over game. It's the Oilers seem to be getting their shots blocked on the regular, more so than they're blocking. Now, I know that's not exactly a statistic or
it's
a
just
metric.
a feel you have.
Yeah, it just seems like they're not getting through.
Okay, perimeter. The further away from the net you shoot, the more likely it is to get blocked. And other teams are defending harder than the Oilers are.
That was my question. Do you think that teams are collapsing and almost doing the, when little kids play soccer for the first time and it's like chasing a butterfly as a group, but they're just moving as a group to get in the shot
I think
lanes?
that's just how teams try to defend in the NHL, take away their front of their own net. And
not the Oilers.
No, not always. And to be fair, not every team against the Oilers has played well defensively, and the Oilers have not failed to crack every team offensively. But yes, I think the Oilers are not getting the puck into the dangerous area and then are settling for a shot from further away from the net, thus increasing the chances it's going to get blocked. That's what I would say to that. I don't remember what the shot blocks were last night.
I'm just looking. It was almost double what Minnesota had compared to Edmonton. Yeah, it was exactly double. 26 block shots for Minnesota, 13 for Edmonton.
Right. So, again, these are more specific stats. I do think blocked shots can easily be measured. I've said before on the show, I don't look at the hits, the giveaways, and the takeaways as much, right? I kind of go by how I feel the game went. Blocked shots is pretty standard. It's even blocked or it isn't. Now, sometimes it's not good to have a lot of blocked shots because that means the puck is in your end. I mean, maybe sometimes you might say, well, we blocked 30 shots. Yeah, but we also gave up 40 shots on net. They were just firing all night. But I think in the Oilers' case last night and some other games, you could say, well, the puck is not getting to the net. Now, I know C-Run is saying in the Nasty Chat, it's strategy for some teams. Yes, some teams will say, try to block shots, get in the way, give up the perimeter, all that kind of stuff. But I still think it's an indication that the Oilers are not getting the puck to the net enough and into that dangerous area.
One I got to read to you here, Reid, is from Shawnzy. And thanks for sending it again, Shawnzy. I saw it earlier, and I'm glad you sent it again. I have a couple thoughts on the Oilers. I think maybe last season they may have overachieved a bit. They also got super lucky with the injuries last season, and it's certainly clear that the Oilers are missing each and every one of the players that they lost during the offseason.
I don't think they overachieved last year. I think they were one of several teams that executed in the playoffs and made it to the Stanley Cup final. I do think they got lucky with the injuries last year, and I think that's important to remember. Most of their, if not all of their good players played pretty much the entire season. I don't remember all the game plate stats. That's fine. Health is a part of it, whether we want to admit it or not. Health is a part of it. What was his third point?
He said they're missing each and every one of the players they lost last year. Well, you've said the team speed, right?
Yes,
and the ability to
Yeah,
keep
well,
up
and
the
like
pace
Ryan,
of play.
and like Ryan made a good point when Rishaug was on earlier. He said they have 3 cast-offs from the Arizona Coyotes who were not considered to have a good decor. Right. So I think it's fair to say they're missing those guys. Some more than others, I think, but I think that's a good point. Now, if Arvidsson had 6 goals, you wouldn't say that they were missing Foegele, but he doesn't. But I think there was the hope there that he would be better than Foegele. I thought he would be.
Well, it's a perfect storm of underachieving individually and the team underperforming.
And team goofy play.
And I think really though that's kind of if you could summarize it into one word or one statement, I guess, is the motors aren't running high enough. There's not enough intensity, desire.
Yep.
All the most cliched words used in sport could be applied to this team.
All right, 780-218-9999. Portions of this hour presented by the Canadian Brew House. At the Canadian Ice House, they're taking your sports experience to a higher level of ultra-cool TrackMan golf simulators are now open at the Ice House, an immersive and realistic golfing experience in the heart of downtown Edmonton. Visit thecanadianicehouse.com.
Just got to say, not today, Rip City Step. Not today.
Boy, what did he say?
Rip City Step said Bouchard needs a hammer for.
What does that mean?
Well, he also said that the welding implement was a Henway. And we said, what's a?
Oh.
So he said Bouchard needs a hammer for.
What's a hammer for? Okay. For hitting nails, Rip City Step. All right. Dolores the hen is laughing at that one.
Yeah.
We're still going to do buying or selling for Damon Bunting. It's Christmas themed, and we're still going to have the EST Flyaway to LA presented by the 780. Keyword. Back in a couple minutes.
Right now, it's the Jets up 1-0 over the Penguins off the stick of Nino Niederreiter with the Ducks and Sabres going at it later. And it's a big night in Edmonton as the Golden Knights men's hockey club welcomes in the Huskies to the Claire Jake Arena for their very first teddy bear toss game while at Rogers Place. Gavin McKenna and the Tigers play the Oil Kings before the Oil Kings have their teddy bear toss on Sunday. And in football, the 49ers plays Brock Purdy to the IR while naming Brandon Allen as a starter this week. And the Blue Jays will not be tendering closer Jordan Romano as he steps into free agency. And NBA sees the 76ers up 13-9 over the Nets, and the Celtics and Wizards battling in a tight game at 11-10 with the score favoring Boston. This sports update has been brought to you by Paramount Flooring. Proudly family owned and operated for 33 years, Paramount Flooring is your full-service flooring and tile supplier. Whether you're a homeowner, renovator, or builder, Paramount Flooring provides the flooring to fit your lifestyle and budget. Visit their showroom that's open 7 days a week at 10707 184th Street. Paramount Flooring. Flooring for the life that you live. The Reid Wilkins Show returns just after the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you in the loop.
Ready for an unforgettable sports experience? It's the EST Flyaway to LA. Presented by the 780. Listen daily for the EST Flyaway keyword. Once you hear it, text us at 780-218-9999 for your chance to qualify to fly to LA. Round trip flights for two, hotel and car rentals, all to go see Edmonton face off against either LA or Anaheim. Plus, experience the brand new Intuit Dome as the Clippers tip off against the Warriors, and top it all off with the Rams kicking off against the Cardinals at SoFi Stadium. This is more than just a trip. This is the ultimate sports experience. The EST Flyaway to LA, presented by the 780 and Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
All right, are you ready for the weekend? What is that, the Winterval tomorrow downtown? That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
And where's Tom tomorrow?
Kelly's
He's
Pub
at Kelly's for
on
the
104th.
Oil Stream pre- and post-game shows. Hernan will be working with him as well. I'll probably hop on after the game, which is always fun. Oilers and Rangers at 8. We'll have coverage starting at 7 o'clock. Really appreciate everybody's contributions to the show today. Really enjoy interacting with all you nasties If you are on YouTube, get us to 100 thumbs up, please, by 6 o'clock. Hit that little thing that looks like a thumb up. All right. Appreciate all the Oilers chat. I love the passion and the suggested solutions or thoughts. Hopefully they play a little better against a very good Rangers team tomorrow night. So that's one of the better vibe visiting teams to come to town. You know, original 6 team. They got some connections to the Oilers. I guess not as much anymore, but Messier went there, Gretzky went there, Sather went there. They're coming in 12-5-1, fourth place in a very competitive Metropolitan. Well, the top 4 teams are good. Then it drops off after that. Anyway, all right. What do you want to do here? Do you want to do buying or selling?
Let's do it.
Let's do buying or selling for Damon Bunting, a consistent top-producing realtor in Greater Edmonton and among Western Canadian RE/MAX realtors. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or the Instagram handle, Damon Bunting Real Estate. So it is November 22nd. Christmas is a month and 3 days away. It is certainly a time, well, some houses are already decorated, but I think it's the time that if you haven't decorated, you're probably looking at doing it maybe this weekend or by the end of the month, right? So here's buying or selling, and we want the nasties to participate in this one. Are you buying or selling that you leave your Christmas lights on all night?
Well, to me, that's a sell. I mean, I'm selling that, 100%. My lights are up. My lights are
Your
on.
Your lights are up and on from when to when?
From, I think, 3:30 or 4 to midnight.
So they're on a timer?
Yes. And then they come on again in the morning.
Oh, really?
When the girls get on the bus.
Oh, so then you have them on like 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. or something like that?
Yeah.
Ish?
Yeah.
Interesting. Never thought of that.
I don't know what... I mean, I guess if you keep the lights on all night long, you simply just don't have a timer.
Probably not. Yeah, you just turn them off in the morning.
In certain settings, it can be seen as a bit of a yard light. Or you just don't want Santa and the reindeers to fly by without seeing you. I don't know.
I would say I would sell on this as well. Now, I do have people in the townhouse complex that leave their lights on all night, but they're also sort of used to light up the house a little bit, and they're not bright to the point where they'd be distracting to neighbors or people walking by. When hopefully I'll put my lights up soon. I guess I should try to get them up this weekend. I have mine on a timer, about 6 p.m. to I think I set it for 12:30 after midnight. So about that time would be for me. I wouldn't have mine on all night. See, it's interesting because there are some people who go all out. Does that house up on 97th Street still do it? It's up 140 something. You know the one it's
on the corner?
Yeah. Like
97th and something.
I can't remember the
across from Griesbach.
Yeah, it might have even changed owners. I don't know if it's still done to that extent. So to me, that's borderline light pollution in the neighborhood. But I suppose the owner of that house would say, well, I do all this work. I want to have the lights on as often as possible. I would say generally, though, on this, I would be selling that you don't need to have your Christmas lights on overnight. Maybe Christmas Eve to Christmas morning, leave them on.
Yeah, I think that would be in the spirit of...
spirit of Christmas.
Like Andrea from Calgary says, we only leave our Christmas lights on overnight on Christmas Eve. Santa needs to be able to see. And there is something to be said about that.
Is it Dolphinius? Am I saying that right? If someone is looking at my Christmas lights at 4 a.m, I hope my vehicle doors are locked. Well, but someone could be driving by. I mean, people work at all hours too, or come home at all hours. I just think if I'm out driving and it's 8 p.m. at this time of year and into December, I'm expecting to see Christmas lights. If for some reason I'm driving at 3 a.m., I don't expect to see Christmas lights. But I get it. In a city of over 1 million people, a lot of homeowners might say, hey, I put them up. I want to show them off, or I want to show them in the Christmas spirit. People are on the roads at all hours, so why not?
Now, Christmas tree and Christmas lights are different.
We're talking about Christmas lights.
Yeah.
When your house, you wouldn't leave the tree on overnight, would you?
I wouldn't. I mean, I think that's a bit of a fire hazard. But during the day, and Big Slam Nasty said this in the Nasty chat, if my wife is home, the Christmas tree is on. It could be sunny and 2 p.m. and it's on.
Oh, really? Okay.
I don't mind
We
that.
might be curmudgeons here. We might be Scrooges.
We very much we
might be miserable human beings.
Redbeard. How you doing, Redbeard? I
Pirate.
miss you. It is Maisie's on 97th. They still do it, but turn them off at night.
They do turn them off overnight. I wonder
They
what
do.
time they go off. Jode says 144th Ave. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. Norm, 4 o'clock to 10 o'clock.
That's Norm and a Combine?
Yeah.
Or a different Norm?
Norm and a
That's
Combine.
Norm and a Combine? Well, yeah, because it's dark enough you could put them on at 4. It's dusky enough, right? And by 5, it's pitch black already. I think I don't know. I think last year I set mine for 6 for some reason. I wouldn't have been. I was working till 8, or I had hockey games, so
Yeah.
I didn't even see my own lights some days.
Well, sticking with the Christmas spirit here, Reid, I'm gonna put a buying or selling towards you as well.
Oh, nice, okay.
Are you familiar with what wassailing is? Wassailing.
No, I've heard that, but I don't know.
You've
what it is.
heard it. It's when a group of carolers, they travel house to
Oh, right.
house.
Okay, yeah.
And sing Christmas carols or Christmas songs. I want. Okay, well, I'll put it to you this way: are you buying or selling that wassailing should make a comeback?
Okay, so what's the difference between wassailing and caroling?
Same thing, but the actual term is wassailing.
Did it ever go away?
Yeah. When's the last time you've been wassailed?
That's a good point.
Right?
That's what she said. I remember when I was a kid, north of Evansburg. Yeah, I would have been pretty young. A truck came into the yard, and somebody knocked on the door, and 4 or 5 adults stood on our porch and sang a song, and then they left.
Right.
Does this need to make a comeback? I would say in this day and age, I would sell on it. I guess there's a bit of a human touch to it, but I would be more. Here's the thing: you can stream Christmas carols, you can watch Christmas carols on YouTube, all that kind of stuff. I would think if you want the in-person performance, there are hundreds of community parks in Edmonton. I live near Paul Kane Park. I would more like to see on a sign, hey, 7 to 9 on this Friday night, Christmas spirit in Paul Kane Park, hot chocolate, candy canes, and caroling. And then I could, if I wanted to walk over, I could take that in.
Well, wassailing typically includes singing, dancing, drinking, and merrymaking in an orchard.
In an orchard?
That's what this says. This is your friend AI. The drink is usually a hot beverage made from a mulled cider, ale, or wine, and spices. So I think the idea is you go from house to house and you pick people up and you become a crew of wassailers.
Oh, it's like a zombie horde growing bigger. Eat brains, jingle bells.
But there is alcohol involved in traditional wassailing. It's not just you're doing this just to go carol. So it could be a good block party idea, or maybe like in Shoggy's cul-de-sac.
So it starts with you and me, and we go to the next house and sing to them, and they
say,
join us.
Join our wassail.
And then they come to our wassail.
And I've got a backpack on. Or no, we've got a St. Bernard with the jug under its neck full of wassail fluid and mulled wine.
Full of wassail fluid.
And we go wassailing.
I had never thought about this. That's a really good buying or selling. Should wassailing make a comeback? There has to be people that still go caroling. Do kids do it? I don't know.
Okay, Big Maple says I don't know.
You don't have people in your hood coming to your door to wassail? No?
No.
No, not interested at all.
What's Tibsy? It's what East Coasters do on December 23rd. I Googled it. East Coast Tibsy. Nope. Am I getting trolled again here? What's Tibsy?
Maybe. I don't know. People like trolling us, making us say silly things.
Big Uke says, in this day and age, I'm not expecting drives into my yard after dark. I'm on edge. I understand. And interestingly enough, Big Uke, he says, if you've got questions about that house on 97th, I've got answers. That's my old boss. Same guy who owns it. He turns them off around 11. The 97th Street house.
He turns them off around 11?
That's Big Uke's old boss.
Oh, that's Big Uke. Sorry, I got an email here that distracted me. I'm just going to read this. This is from Tim Enger, our friend at Football Alberta, executive director. The headline is Records Fall as Millwoods Christian dominates 6-a-side championship at the Alberta Bowl. Here's the first sentence of the story. All-time records dropped like flies as the Millwoods Christian Royals scored early, often, and seemingly all night in the championship game for 6-a-side football at the 2024 ASAA Alberta Bowl in Grand Prairie. Final score, Millwoods Christian Royals 100, JC Charwick Hawks 50.
Wow. Those kids must be exhausted.
Now, 6-a-side tends to be a little more...
It's a lot of points.
Covered 9-man football in Lloyd. Holy Rosary played 9-man. They now do 12-man. And you could have some 58-38 games, with like scoring drive, 2 plays, 74 yards, 31 seconds, and then the other team comes back. Apparently, we might have to get somebody on from Millwoods Christian.
That would be awesome.
They scored 100. Now, I assume this is 12-minute quarters?
12 minutes, so it's a 48-minute game. 6-a-side is 3 O-linemen, 1 quarterback, a running back, and a receiver. So you can imagine how much room there is.
I'm going to just text him quickly right now.
It's Tibbs Eve. You aren't being trolled this time, Andrea says. It's celebrated in Newfoundland and Labrador. Tibbs, okay, yeah.
So how would you like to be, I'm not sure if I'm saying that school right, JC Charwick? I don't know where that school is. I'll look it up quickly. I assume it must be from the south. Oh, it's in Hannah. Look at this photograph. So I don't know if it's Charwick or Charwick or Shark. How would you like to... How would you like to have told those kids at the beginning of the season, hey, you're going to make the provincial final and you're going to score 50 points in the championship game? That's all I'm going to tell you. Great.
Wow, what a year.
And you lost by 50.
Wow, that is incredible. That is incredible.
This email just because so they're obviously playing some games, and then the other finals are tomorrow, right? The 9-man game is coming up, Ponoka against Peace River. So the score 100-50. At least it's nice round numbers. Most points scored as a record by Millwoods Christian, 100. Most points by an individual, and I apologize if I'm saying these names wrong. Haniel Uwanda, I think is how you say it. He had 42 points, so that's how many touchdowns? 7. Most passing yards, Hayden Williams, 553.
No.
Most receiving yards, I wonder if this is Rod's son, Carter Harrod, 302. Wasn't there a Rod Harrod? Rob or Rob?
Rod Herod.
Oh, Herod, sorry.
Yeah.
Had 302. We might have to try to get somebody on.
I bet
Monday.
you Rod Herod coaches there. He's very involved with his kids in football. His older kid is a stud, apparently.
Not Carter, somebody else?
I don't think it is.
So it's Herod. But he played for the Esks,
Herod.
Yeah. Rod Herod.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was doing it rhyming. Rod Harrod. So Carter Herod, 602 receiving yards. We got to get
Rod Herod is the coach of the Millwoods Christian.
Okay, we got to get him on, or the kid, one of these kids, or something on Monday. That's phenomenal.
That's
now maybe I'm ignorant as to. Well, he said it was a record number of points. I'll say Tim's texting me back. My game was minus 15 with a wind chill or wind shield, as you would say, approaching minus 25. This is amazing. I'm going to say, what was previous record for points scored? Because I think you have to have context for this, right?
So Rod Herod is Dave Dawson's color man for the Edmonton Wildcats broadcasts.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll contact Dave. We'll get him on.
Yeah, well, or Tim could help us too. Well, however, yeah, we got to get that on Monday. They're probably warming up and celebrating right now. So I just want to reiterate this because this is one of those things, if you're just tuning in or people are half hearing this, this is the final that just happened this afternoon in Grand Prairie, the 6-a-side provincial championship game. Millwoods Christian beat JC Charwick out of Hannah 150. That was the final score in the game.
Wow.
I'm trying to find out the previous record for points scored in a game from Tim with Football Alberta. That is stunning. All right. I feel like I need a break. I'm actually stunned. You know what? That is unbelievable.
Whoa! No.
Like, that's one of those things. If you would have told me this morning, hey, Reid, you're going to be talking about a football game in which one team scores 100 points, I would have said, no, I won't be. Or if you would have told me you're going to be talking about a game in which a football game in which a team scores 50 points and loses by 50, I would have said, no, I won't be. Leave me alone. Quit bothering me.
You know what that game was for Millwoods Christian? A must-win.
It certainly was. It was the provincial championship game. All right, we're back for the final segment of the week. We're going to do the keyword. The EST Flyaway to LA, presented by the 780, a homegrown local shop right here in Edmonton. 780, both the shop name and their in-house clothing brand that celebrates all things unique to E-Town. They also work with close to 100 local vendors from the 780 area code to help promote and get their brands off the ground. Check them out online at 780.com or any of their 5 locations at Southgate, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, and the Outlet Mall by the airport. So the trip, December 26th to the 30th, flight for 2 to Los Angeles. You get hotel, you get rental car, tickets to see the Clippers play the Warriors, the Rams play the Cardinals, and our beloved hockey team play against either the Kings or the Ducks. We give the trip away in a week on the Nielsen Show. Text in the keyword 780-218-9999. The keyword is car. The keyword, well, Wannock was running out of ideas, for keywords as he went on. The keyword is car to 780-218-9999.
I told him that next time he needs to use ChatGPT for all of them.
Generate keywords related to Los Angeles hockey, football, and basketball.
Yep.
All right. Now we will break, and we'll let the Coob do a sports update.
It's the Jets leading the Penguins 1-0 with about 5 minutes to go in the first. And after that, the Ducks meet with the Sabres. It's a big night in Edmonton as the Golden Bears men's hockey club welcomes in the Huskies to the Claire Drake Arena for their very first teddy bear toss game. While at Rogers Place, Gavin McKenna and the Tigers play the Oil Kings before the Oil Kings have their teddy bear toss on Sunday. And in football, the 49ers placed Brock Purdy to the IR while naming Brandon Allen as the starter this week. Closing pitcher Jordan Romano will not be tendered by the Blue Jays as he gets set to hit free agency. Elsewhere, it's the 76ers up over the Nets 31-26, and the Celtics leading by 2. Entering into the second for both of those games with 6 other games on tap for NBA Cup action. The Reid Wilkins Show returns just after the break. I'm Zachary Kubish for your sports update.
Wake up with the Nielsen Show with Dustin Nielsen and Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
At Mind 360, we invite you to embark on your mental health journey in a safe and comfortable space. Conveniently located in St. Albert, Mind 360 has a diverse team of experienced clinicians that offer a broad range of tailored services for children, adults, and families. Furthermore, we are very proud to serve our military, veterans, and first responders. If you're looking for counseling, treatment, or assessment, understand that you are not alone. Contact Mind360 at mind360.ca to book an appointment today.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key, influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. Oilers and Elks, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, and the association, Formula One, soccer, golf. Oh, sweet mama! The excitement is palatable on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website and send a message at edmontonsportstalk.com.
All right, 5:45. I'm going to the Golden Bears Huskies game tonight at Claire Drake Arena. That'll be fun to check that out, and check in there. I'll check in on Pokemon Go. I don't know.
Just hang on before you say that, because C-Run says the record they broke probably is so old someone died of dysentery.
Incorrect. Though that is funny. C-Run, you are funny, and you get an autographed Dolores the Hen poster. So Tim with Football Alberta texted me back. The record for points scored in a 6-a-side football game in Alberta was 76 by the school from Hannah from last year. So the games are high scoring, but still they broke the record by a third more points, right? Basically, going from 76 to 100.
Incredible.
So
just think of how
that's still amazing.
Well, those 6-a-side athletes are incredible athletes. How
many players on a roster? Would some players play both sides?
Most do.
Even at 6-man.
Well, you got to think about it. It's all like tremendous
Smaller
athletes.
schools, I guess.
And Greg from Lacombe sent something into the EST inbox. He says, I ref a lot of 6-man football. Most teams score 60 to 70 points a game. So, yeah, we got to get Rod on.
Yeah.
And we got to talk about 6-man football. Because it is, for smaller schools that don't have.
Do you know him?
The population? No, I've met him.
No.
Met him once or twice, but I don't know him. But it is, my wife's cousin played 6-man at
I think it is
at Breton. Breton, Alberta.
We might be. I think it is Rob, actually.
Rob.
Yeah, it is Rob.
Gotcha.
So apologize. There are probably people listening like, you guys don't know the name. Sorry. And we are doing this on the fly.
Yeah.
And Carter is his son, who set that record with 302 receiving yards in a game.
Wow.
That's amazing. I'm glad we got that on the show. That's fun when we get stuff like that to tell you about.
Coach Vic says usually 18 players and less on 6-a-side.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
You're going to have some special teams players. But, okay, Vic, do you think... Well, we'll get into it on Monday. We'll find out.
We'll try to get Rob on.
Yeah.
We're in the James H. Brown studio. James H. Brown, personal injury law firm, the heavy hitters of injury law. With over 200 years of experience, James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. Check him out at jameshbrown.com today and book your private consultation. Is it Chris?
You got that right.
Chris is the qualifier for the EST Flyaway to LA presented by the 780. Chris, how's your Friday going?
I'm glad work is over and it hasn't snowed as much as they said that it should.
Were you working outdoors?
I was not, thankfully.
Okay. Did you hear this football game we were just talking about? Did you hear us talking about this?
I did. That's absolutely bonkers.
We got to try to get somebody, the coach or somebody from that game on the show on Monday, because I want to hear how that went. Did you play high school football?
I did for a year, yeah.
Oh, where?
Jasper Place High School.
Oh, nice. And was it a good era for the team or a rebuilding era, shall we say?
It was a rebuilding year.
Okay, fair enough. Well, thanks for listening. Have you ever been to LA before?
I have, yes.
Chris, our off-topic topic today was your snow removal tips and or stories from snow removal escapades. You got anything for us?
Oof. I know my neighbor has one of those like giant shovels that sort of does like one pass. That seems to work pretty good, but it gets pretty heavy. So I'm glad it's him and not me doing it.
That's awesome.
Okay, well, make sure you are listening on November 29th. That is a week from today. That is going to be fun.
Right?
They are going to be giving away that trip on the morning show, the Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric. So be sure to have your phone at your side. You are not going to want to miss that call. Congrats on qualifying. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the snow.
Thanks. You two guys. Enjoy the show all the time.
Right on. Appreciate you tuning in. So Chris is the qualifier for this show for the EST Flyaway to LA. We have, 17 qualifiers left. 1 on Hello Hockey tomorrow, and then 4 a day Monday through Thursday next week on the Nielsen Show, on the Hangout, on afternoons with Hernan and Gager, and then on this show. So we're getting close to giving this away. It's been fun.
Speaking of getting close, we are 4 away from hitting our magic number of 100. If you have not hit the thumbs up,
quit
please
being a
do
pleasure
so.
delayer. Do not delay our pleasure, nor yours.
And if you haven't subscribed to Edmonton Sports Talk, please do that as well.
So we got to talk about this. I've just texted with my former colleague, Dave Cabell. He's like, 100 to 50, baby. So Millwoods Christian 100, JC, I'm sorry if I'm saying the school wrong, Charik, I guess, out of Hannah. I apologize, any from the Hannah area or graduates of that school. 150 is the final. So most points by an individual. Haniel Uwanda, I think is how you say it, scored 42 points. Hayden Williams, or maybe it's Haddon Williams, Haddon, probably Haddon. Haddon Williams had 553 passing yards, and Carter Herod had 302 receiving yards. That is Millwoods Christian, third title in the last 4 seasons. Well,
dominance.
They know how to score. And all the Alberta Bowls are being played in Grand Prairie. Man, oh, man.
A lot of must-win games around Millwoods Christian.
And here's the thing. So Tim sent a picture, and the scoreboard reads 99.50, and it doesn't look like they had a space
you wouldn't
for a 3-digit score. On a football scoreboard, you'd probably buy a scoreboard. So, okay, this makes me think of another story. My cousin James, who's 5 years older than me, he lives in Southern Ontario, in Kitchener. He did live in Edmonton for a while. But he was working for a company, I think in Burlington, that made scoreboards.
Okay.
And James isn't a big sports fan. He'll watch and he kind of knows who the good teams and players are, but mostly for hockey. So when he was working for this scoreboard company, he was emailing me. This was like before text. He was emailing me, and he's like, he goes, I'm making a football scoreboard for a high school in Texas. And he's like, do I need to have a space for negative yardage? And I said, well, you could. I said, usually they would probably just, if a team got
0
sacked on the first play, you would just leave it at 0. And then until but he goes, you could. I said, he goes, well, they have passing yards and rushing yards. And I said, well, it would be especially rare to have negative passing yards. And he's like, yeah, because I got to have space and program it to have the negative. And I said, well, you probably could ask them. If it was up to me, I'd say leave it out. Just have. But yeah, on a football. Now, if you were designing a generic scoreboard that for some reason was going to be basketball and football and whatever else, then you'd say, yes, have it so it goes 100 and higher. But I guess if you were designing a scoreboard just for football, you would say save the space, save the whatever programming. You don't need a third column for a 1. They would have needed one today in Grand Prairie. That's incredible.
That is incredible. And I'm thinking now because, football is played outdoors, certainly everywhere in Canada, at high school levels anyhow.
Yeah.
So you can't exactly have a digital scoreboard outdoors all year round that's permanent. So you'd have to have the old school light up. Like, let me see the picture of that scoreboard.
Oh, sorry. Well, this is digital, though. Or am I misunderstanding what you're saying?
No, that's still lit up. Like it's LED lights, yes.
Oh, it has all little lights.
Yeah.
It's not like a screen,
no,
so to speak. Yes.
So you can't change that to reflect.
No,
that.
you can't. Yeah, that's okay. I see what you mean now. So it's It's electronic, but it's not.
It's not digital.
Digital, like a touch screen or something
right.
fancy like that.
That's incredible. I am so looking forward to Monday. That's going to be a good interview.
Yeah. So it looks like,
assuming we can get
timeouts, quarter down Okay, so it has timeouts, the score, down, distance, the quarter, and the yard line. I believe it has ball on 49.
Yeah.
So that's what it has. So that's a good football scoreboard. That's a good high school football scoreboard.
That's the same
you
thing.
don't need rushing yards for everybody or total yardage for the team. But so they had to stop at 99. I guess they could have put up 3 zeros, but then it would have looked like
2 zeros.
They would 2 zeros, but they wouldn't want their picture with it saying 50 to 0-0. So they just give us 99, and we'll tell people, hey, you know something? That's a great photo for these kids to have.
That is.
You know, when they're 38 and they got a house and they got new friends that didn't know them in high school, and they come, what's this 99.50? Well, we won a provincial championship, and let me tell you something about that. We actually didn't score 99 points. Oh, well, why does the scoreboard say 99? Well, we actually got to 100. So what's the combination of field goals and touchdowns to get to 100? The chat GTP. Now, there could have been single safeties, missed converts.
I mean, it's not divisible by 7 entirely. So
yeah,
it has
so what's...
So you could have 7.
So 84 divided by 7 is 12, right?
You could have 10 touchdowns and 10 field goals.
70.
And 7 converted touchdowns.
Yeah.
7 converted touchdowns, 10 field goals. Boom, 100.
So would 14 touchdowns be 98 points? Converted touchdowns, 14 times 7 is 98. They could have missed a couple converts in there or gone for 2. Maybe early in the game they're going for 2. Maybe they had 98 at the end and went for 2 to get to 100. There's a question. If you had 98 points in a game where you're blowing out the other team in football, would you go for 2 to get to 100? I would.
Go to hell, too.
That's not a good... score 100 points in a football game? That's incredible.
I think they got 13 converted touchdowns and 3 field goals. That's 91 and 9.
Do you think they made all the converts? Well, we're going to have to find out. There's no scoring summary attached to the email, is there? Wait a minute. Oh, no, there isn't. No. Well, congratulations to Millwoods Christian for winning the 6-a-side championship. What do we have in the other games? Because they're all this weekend in Grand Prairie, right?
Harry Ainley's taking on Raymond in the 5A or 4A, whatever the largest school.
Yeah, Ainley.
I think you're Holy Rosary Crusaders.
I'm looking at the semifinal results from last week. So the 5A is Harry Ainley against Raymond. 4A is St. Joseph's against Holy Trinity.
Okay.
3A is Holy Rosary against Cochrane.
Yeah.
Holy Rosary beats St. Paul 53-0 in the North Final. 9-a-side is Peace River Ponoka. 6-a-side we've been talking about. And then I guess there isn't. Yeah, there's no 2A or 1A. They would play 9-a-side or 6-a-side. So the 9-a-side games, and then I think the 1A, the 5A, 4A, and 3A games are tomorrow. So Holy Rosary from Lloyd is there against Cochrane. Oh, yeah, he's got the game times on here. So, yeah, tonight is Ponoka against Peace River. Tomorrow at 11 is Cochrane against Holy Rosary. 2:30 is Holy Trinity. That's in Edmonton, right?
Yeah. Well,
the Holy Trinity Academy Knights?
No.
That's not us.
You spoke
against
at
the
Holy
St.
Trinity.
Joseph Celtics.
You spoke at Holy Trinity.
No, I spoke at...
Didn't you?
Is that where I went? I can't remember where I went.
Yeah, in Millwoods.
The one by... It's down by... Yeah, right. But there could be other Holy Trinities in the province, though, right? And Raymond plays Ainley at 6 o'clock tomorrow for the 5A title. That's the big one. Holy Trinity Academy Knights. That's the name of the team.
Yeah, they're in southern Alberta.
Oh, so that's not ours. Okay. Yes, I spoke at Holy Trinity, but it's a different Holy Trinity. Do we know where it is? Holy Trinity Academy. Oh, that's in Okotoks. Okay. We figured that out. Okay, that was a great unscheduled part of the show because I find that, first of all, I love high school football, and that's awesome that a team got to 100 points. Goof ups, I don't know. We had a lot of fun. No, what's wrong with having fun? I said hesitancy instead of...
You said hesitancy.
Hesitancy instead of whatever. I said it wrong.
Oh, we didn't even get to talk about the raccoons debacle yesterday. Those damn raccoons.
Oh, yeah, YouTube got mad at us.
That was my goof up. is trying to incorporate the raccoons into a show.
All right. So tomorrow at 7, Oil Stream pregame show with Tom and Hernan. I'm heading to Claire Drake tonight to watch the Golden Bears and the Huskies. Coob, have a great weekend. Glue Guy, love you. Love all you nasties. See you soon.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.